Ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Lee?
Hey, how are you?
No complaints, brother. So, okay, everybody's here. Okay, the whole gang is here.
Oh.
Hey, so Lee, you might not be familiar with the cast, so I'm gonna run through the intros. You might know Stu. That's the guy with the afro. He looks kind of Puerto Rican.
Hey.
Not Puerto Rican, for the record.
He's actually white, but for some reason he looks Puerto Rican. We can't figure out why.
That's a Bruno Mars thing going on.
Well, keep in mind he's like 4 weeks out, so he's getting cranky, so he doesn't take the jokes. he don't take the jokes as well, but he's okay. He'll be okay. And then we got Paul got the red hat over there down there with the HD muscle.
What's up, Lee?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. Good, thank you.
Then we got Joe. Joe got the Johnny Bravo cut. He looks a little hungry today.
Johnny Bravo.
He got the Johnny Bravo cut.
We almost could have been twins, Stu. I almost put on the same Uprising shirt.
Oh, see?
Yeah, guy sent me this. It's a comfy shirt.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not affiliated
for
with
this
them,
one.
but there you go.
Oh, there we go.
It's titulated nicely.
This is Zayd, by the way, with the property of something shirt on.
Jackie.
XL. How you doing,
Zayd.
Mr. Lee?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good to see you, man. You're a great legend, man. I looked up to you, still do, with all my life, dude. It's an honor to be on the same podcast as you, bro.
Oh yeah.
You say that now, wait to the end.
So Lee,
Yeah.
All right, so people who watch Lee knows Lee doesn't take himself too seriously. He jokes around a lot and stuff like that. But I did want to take a minute to actually take you seriously because everybody in the industry has a ton
I have to be serious. I have to be serious for a minute. This is gonna be hard. Hold on.
It's gonna be difficult.
I'll try.
Lee doesn't give himself too much credit because he's just not that kind of person. He's pretty humble. But most of us got into the sport, looking up to Lee. And people usually ask me, if they ask me, how did you get into the sport? I'll say, in high school, I started watching Ronnie and Jay. But that's not the true story. Only my close friends and family know the real story, right? So my older brother got locked up when I was maybe 8 or 9. And then he moved in with us after that. And then he had these magazines. And I remember maybe at 9 years old, I picked up a magazine and I see an ad. I think it's it must have been like a Twin Lab ad, something like that. And then I see Lee on it. I didn't know this was Lee because I didn't know what the fuck bodybuilding was. And I'm like, for some reason, some kind of switch went off in my head. And I'm like, I want to do this for some reason. I don't know why. There's no reason. I just wanted to be buff, after seeing Lee. I wasn't bullied or anything like that. Just something clicked, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I started basically doing push-ups and sit-ups the whole 9, and then eventually that led into bodybuilding. So I wanted to give Lee his flowers for being one of the fucking legends, man. Sometimes he doesn't get enough credit.
Whenever people say to me, I got into this sport because of you, Lee. I'm like, hey, don't blame me for your stupidity now. Come on.
Me.
I guess giant killer. The original giant killer.
Yeah. We see young guys come into the sport with impressive physiques. What's the guy that turned pro last year in Classic? I can't remember his name, but Anton.
Was that the 19-year-old or 20-year-old? Was it or?
Yeah, I think he's 19, and I remember I'm like, that's a pretty crazy physique, right? And I started seeing debates. Is this the most impressive 19-year-old? I'm like, I mean, it's up for debate recently, but if you look at Lee Priest at fucking 16 years old, you're like, Lee was way. Let me see if I could actually. I was looking for pictures the other day. Let me see if I could share the screen. But
not as embarrassing as Lee when he was competing at 13.
I couldn't.
The
what age is this?
the one on the top, that was 19. That one out in the bush.
This one.
Yeah, that's 19.
Holy shit! Okay.
The one over here, that's 19 there. But see the one over on the top left where I'm just standing like that with my arms down. Yeah, that one.
This one?
Now that's also 19, but that's where I told people I got sick of doing the shows. The Mr. Australia I won at 17, 18, 19. They said I was too young, so I was coming to America to do the Niagara Falls. So 19 in the bush, that was still natural. This is 19 after taking Decker, and I put 20 pounds of muscle on.
Holy shit. Wait, so
you can see the difference from natural to 19 on the gear.
Wait, so when did you actually start training?
Started like when I was 12. I just started like you did, similar, just push-ups, chin-ups. That top one there, that was my first contest at 13.
I was about to say, you look like you're fucking 11 at this one.
Yeah, I just started at 12. Because I think it was around 86. Rocky 4 just come out. That's showing my age. But it's like when the Rocky 4 came out, I just started doing the chin-ups in the garage, the abs on the bench like he was doing. I used to push my mum's car back and forth in the driveway, just doing all body weight stuff, similar to that when I was younger. That's my mum there. That's when I was 17 and my mum was 38. We competed together.
Crazy.
We were the first mother and son in the world to win a title because my mum's like me. She loves food, so she was really chunky. And she goes, if I ever get in shape, will you do the couples with me? And I'm like, yeah, you get in shape, I'll do it. Thinking, I don't want to be seen on stage with my mum. Fuck that. So she'll never get in shape. 8 months later, she got in shape and we did the couples together. And just before we walked on stage, she was so nervous. And I walked over to her because I just won my class in the Mr. Australia. And she thought I was going over to give her words of encouragement. And I walk over and I'm like, Mum, don't you fuck this up on me. And I walked away and she was looking at me so nervous.
How old is this? Oh, it says 16. Is that accurate?
That was 17. That's when I first met. Remember Carlos Rodriguez and Marlon Darton? I think someone just put up a photo of Marlon Darton on Instagram. They ran the AAU Universe in Tucson, Arizona. I was 17 there, and that's where the first time I met Milos. Milos was competing in that same show in 1989, that was.
That's wild. Okay, so I see with Tom Platz, right? And I wanted to ask you who did you? So okay, like my moment when I saw your picture in the ad, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who was somebody you saw that made you think that what? I think I want to do this shit.
The very first thing that got me into it, like I'd see my grandfather training all the time and that, but the first thing that got me into training was watching TV on a school day and the He-Man cartoon come on, and I just said, I want to look like He-Man. I wasn't even into really bodybuilding. I never said I wanted to get into bodybuilding to even compete. My goal was to look like He-Man. And then I'd get the magazines and I'd see Platz's legs, Eddie Robinson's arms. So I never really liked one actual bodybuilder. I just liked body parts of different bodybuilders. And I just wanted to be like He-Man. And when I started to get muscle, people were like, oh, you should compete. But I'd done a lot of other sports, rugby, karate and that. And I was always too shy to do stuff like with the karate when you got to go get graded and you got to yell and that sort of thing. I'm like, this is too embarrassing. So the first time I told my mum I'm going to compete, she's like, you're shy. You're going to walk out on stage in those little posing trunks. I'm like, I'll give it a go, because even just before I got into bodybuilding, I went to magician school for like 2 years doing magic. And every time I went on stage to do a trick, I'm like, I'm going to fuck this up. I'm going to, the fucking rabbit's going to jump out somewhere else and it's going to look all shit. So nearly everything I did, I just didn't like doing, because I didn't really like team sports, because if I didn't perform, I would always feel like I let the team down. So with bodybuilding, it's like, well, really, the only person I can let down is myself. So I just preferred having that one type of thing like that, where I didn't have to worry about letting the team down or other people in the team. Because, when you get ready for bodybuilding shows, you're so regimented. Like if I'm around people and people are late or they don't do something, I'm like, oh, can't you just be like regimented? Because, you know, when you're getting ready for a show, your eating's perfect, your training's perfect, everything's like on time. So if anyone's not on that same sort of thing, I'm like, you people are just not, you don't have it. It's like, what's wrong with you people? So I just preferred to be in my own little worlds that way. Like if I was on a team and someone wasn't performing, I'd get that piss like, come on, get your head in the game or, you know, do better. Whereas by yourself, it's only you. So if you let anyone down or you fuck up or cheat on the diet, it's only going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anyone else.
Exactly. I forgot to show you. I got this Superman tattoo a while back.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't see anything, baby.
It's funny when I got that tattoo, it was me and Sean Davies, sadly, who Sean just passed away not long ago, but me, Sean Davies, and Chris Cormier went to a tattoo shop in Venice, and we were all going to get one. So we go in, and I start getting the Superman. Sean Davies was getting the British Bulldog, and Chris is like, oh, there's no more chairs. See you later, fuckers. And he took off and didn't even get one.
Well, I feel like back then tattoos were like frowned upon as far as competing. Yeah. I think at this point, I think all of us gotta have tattoos on the podcast, right? Some more than others. Yeah. Joey
I think back then they were, but now, like I said, most have them. And people ask me today, like when I won the Universe and I won the Ironman, I had a lot more tattoos. Like, and that the face one I got after the Ironman, but all the others I pretty much had. And, you know, people always say, does it make a difference? And I always tell people, not really. But I think if it's really close, I reckon if you're in a show and it's super close and you have tattoos and the other one doesn't, I always say it might go to the person that doesn't. If it's super close and they're going to get nitpicky type thing. But generally, if you look good and you're in shape, and the tanning products we have today, it's just, you know, if you put it on, the tattoos aren't really, unless you got like something that's completely black and just gets rid of it all. But I did see a guy years ago, you know, those like muscle anatomy charts. He had his whole arm tattooed like the muscles and the sinew. I'm thinking, shit, if I could go back in time, I'd get that over my whole body. So even bulked up, I'd be shredded. So it'd be like,
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually have a face tattoo. You just can't see it because I'm too dark, like Joe said. I got
Fooled me.
Is right here? You see it? No, you can't see it. But let's catch up. Let's catch up with the boys. What's going on with prep, Stu?
I'm feeling a lot better today than yesterday, man. We started bumping up my Arimidex yesterday, and I just started feeling like shit, and so we stopped doing that. And I'm not going to be taking any more Arimidex. That just shit doesn't agree with me, but I feel way better today.
Did you guys watch that last podcast? I thought that shit was boring, bro. We kind of just
We're dead.
we were dead, bro.
I didn't think it was going to be that great. After we finished, I walked away like, damn, that was shit.
who was on the last one? I did see something pop up. Who was on the last one?
Carlos. We had Carlos.
Yeah,
we had Carlos. But it was more serious in the beginning because, you know, I don't know if you're aware, Carlos, he had his brother passed away, and he had like really bad colitis. So it started off already kind of like in like a lower mood, and it kept, you know. So, but I mean, I think people liked it because Carlos opened up. He didn't have to do that. We didn't force him. We didn't try to force him to open up neither. But you know,
sometimes those type of shows, you know, people like because you know, generally the internet or Instagram, everyone always puts out, look at me doing this, look at this in my nice car. But I think sometimes when people see the human side and they see that, you know, we have the same problems as everyone else, whether it be health problems, family problems, losing people, you know, I think people can relate to it more when you do open up more. That's why I've always been open with my whole life. Sometimes, you know, different girlfriends at the time or wives would be like, I think you're being a bit too open. I'm like, well, I don't care. I'd rather be open that way. You know, no one can ever hold anything over my head. So it's like, exactly. I tell everything too much. So.
Well, the people with the best sense of humor that joke a lot usually hold the most, whatever, the stress, trauma, whatever the case is. So Lee, being as funny as you are, you probably have a lot bottled up. You have a lot.
It's miserable.
I'll lay on the couch here. Where shall we start?
Yeah.
Tell me about your mother.
Well, my mother, I've got a funny story on my mother, and I sometimes blame this on why I am. This was back in the day, waxing, how women wax.
Mhm.
And they put a little bit of wax here, they put the thing on and rip it off. Well,
Yeah.
waxing had just come out. This would have been early 80s. And I get home from school, I'm coming in. Good thing I didn't have any friends with me. We had an old, like, linoleum floor, a fake plastic floor, whatever it is. And I walk in, and there's my mother naked in the kitchen. This is traumatizing for a young kid. Her both legs, rather than put a little bit on, she melted a whole pot of wax and covered her entire leg sitting on the kitchen floor. But the wax had dried. Now she's stuck to the floor naked.
Oh, no.
And I said, "What are you doing?" She's trying to get it off. She couldn't get off. So I'm trying to help her get the wax off the floor because she's stuck there. God. She had to go sit in a boiling hot bath. I mean, her legs were covered, and she's trying to pick it off, and her legs are bleeding. And I've been coming out from school, seeing your mother stuck to the floor with wax naked can damage a young kid. Okay,
it explains a lot, man.
Damn. All right, let's go. Joe, how you feeling, Joe? 5 weeks out, 5.5 weeks out?
5.5. Yeah, today's better. Way better than than on Sunday. Sunday was terrible. But yeah, I checked in today. I think I'm gonna get a refeed because I dropped like 4 or 5 pounds since Saturday. So we'll see. My cardio is still at 65 minutes, so I'm doing quite a bit right now. But I'm feeling like to be like that transition from where you feel like okay to where you start getting that foggy, like a little fatigue feeling from time to time. So I'll hit those little waves. That's where I'm at right now. So right now I feel good. But in an hour, I may feel like shit. We don't know.
Well, I feel like you're gonna make everybody like a believer in your off season because,
bro.
Well, basically,
Lee
did that.
Was so we talked about Lee. We talked about who's your favorite physique. So I have different ideas of I like Dorian Yates, right, for his work ethic and stuff. But I liked your physique the most. That was the one that I liked the most. And I loved how you would just go all in on off season, live life, but get the job done. And then you cut down, you come and peeled. And that's how I do it. That's how I really enjoy bodybuilding that way.
People used to get so mad at me at Gold. They're like, "Why are you getting so heavy?" Mike Matarazzo would always laugh. He's like, "You're like a fucking human tick. You're going to explode. Stop eating." And that was the thing, because in the off season, I would barely ever use any gear. I just relied on food. So I'd be eating that much food. Like the heaviest I got was 285 pounds at 5'5". And I just eat and eat. It's like I didn't really need to take gear because I was that strong and that. I was just like, and then I'd die down. Like people in Goals would be like, "Oh, you're a fat pig. You'll never get in shape." As soon as you get in shape, "Oh, we knew you could do it. You're looking good." It's like,
yeah. I've done this 3 different times now, and I'm always in shape. But I train really hard. I train heavy. There's dense muscle tissue under all that fat. So, you know, your metabolism is going to be revved when you clean it up. And so I don't worry about it ever. I know I'm always going to come in shape, but people always hate on me, especially fucking Nick Walker.
Yeah. I never even aimed for a number. It was just like, if I did like the Ironman, the Arnold, and the San Francisco in February, March, and if I was going to do the Olympia next, I'd have all those months just to eat what I wanted. So it wasn't like I aimed for a certain weight. I just ate normal food. But the thing was, I'd eat good food as well. Like I might have steak and rice, but then an hour later, I might have McDonald's. And then an hour and a half later, I'd have chicken and vegetables, but then I'd go have a thing of ice cream and a bag of chips. So it was generally good food, but then a lot of shit food in between. So I might have been eating 2,500, 3,000 calories of clean food and then another 3,000 of shit food in between it. So when it come time to diet, I just cut out. But I always found too, being off the gear and just eating so much shit in the off season that when I did diet, I'd go straight onto the clean food, start taking a bit of gear. My body just responded that quick because it was so different. You know, some people stay clean, eating clean all the time and taking gear all the time. So when they get ready for a show, they eat clean and maybe up the gear. The body's so used to it that doesn't make any changes at all. So actually coming off and eating a lot of bad food, then going back, I always responded straight away.
I've always said that, like, I believe when you're extremely regimented year round, it's almost like a secondary stress on you. When you're laxed, you go push yourself in the gym, you just eat kind of freely within. Like, I make sure I eat enough. I always say I'd rather overeat than under recover. So I'm always making sure I eat enough. And I'm just relaxed. I live life. And then when it's time to go, you know, I can shut it down cold turkey. And then the clean food actually tastes good. So that's just how I've always done it. I mean, I'm hated on it all the time, but I don't care. I love it.
It's not hating. It's from a place of concern, Joe.
Mine and Lee's hairstyle isn't too different.
I remember when I was young, Get Big, getbig.com. I'm not sure if they're still around, but even from the age of 21, they used to have the Deadpool, and it used to be bodybuilders who were going to die. And every year I was always in the top 3 generally. He gets too heavy, he's going to die. He gets too fat, he's going to die. I'm like, okay.
That's not good. Well, another thing Joe does similar to Lee is you'll see a video of Joe, you know, inclining or shoulder pressing 5 plates, right? And he's locked in with his headphones on. What you don't see is like 2 minutes earlier, he was fucking dancing and joking around and laughing at the gym, right? I don't believe you have to be mean mugging and blasting metal, and you know, I don't think you have to do that for 3 hours. As long as you're locked in for the set and you're all in, that's all you need. When we're in the gym, we're always fucking around. We're always talking shit. We're always, at the end of the day, it's fun. If bodybuilding wasn't fun to us, I don't think we're not doing it for money, obviously, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely not.
We all want to win first and foremost, but if you're not having fun, it's really a really bad investment of time. You know,
and you see that too. It's like when I was doing my set, I'd be focused, but in between, I'd make a joke, just talk generally and stuff like that. But that's why I tell people, probably in the beginning, we've all made that mistake where you think that's how you have to be. You have to be serious. You have to be, don't talk to me, I'm training. You know, if you're getting ready for a show, you want to go to a movie. I can't go to a movie. I'm getting ready for a show. It's like you don't want to do anything that's going to bring you joy or happiness. You think you have to be this sort of focused that hard. So it wasn't until later on I figured, you know what, I can go to the gym and train and diet. But then if the girlfriend or wife or family has something on, I can go there, take my meal. So I just want to tell people, like, you know, we miss out on so much in the beginning because we think we've got to be so strong and hard. You know, someone goes, you want to come here? Oh, you mean I got to walk? I could burn muscle. No, I can't do that. It's like some of the stupid shit would think that we would, so many things you'd miss out on because you think you got to sit at home, be miserable, focus on the contest. But then, you know, as you do more, you're like, wait a minute, I can actually go out and have a little bit of fun. Because then sometimes it was like I get to the point where I'm having too much fun. I'm like, I can't be getting ready for a show if I feel this good. I've got to be fucking miserable. And, you know, so it's funny. As you do it more and more, you can learn to relax a bit. Actually, I found the more I relaxed and had a bit of fun, I came in better shape because I wasn't so stressed and worried. And, you know, you get to that point, everything you'd wake up and go, oh, the abs still there. Let me have a look. Shit, they're not there. Then you start doing this. And like when I did my last show to Universe, I was like that, making a comeback. Because, you know, I got suspended from the IFBB. So from 06 to 2013, I didn't compete and I was going NABBA. And I figured, fuck, if I come back looking like shit, I'll be the laughing stock, you know. So even if I look great and got second. So when I started getting ready for that show, I put so much pressure on myself that after a month, I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to treat it like a guest posing. And I'm going to guest pose. I'm not competing. And, you know, that was the best, probably one of the best I ever looked. So I think we can put too much stress on ourselves. You know, even back then too, because you had the stress of, you know, luckily today you can make a bit of money doing podcasts and have, you know, make money from YouTube and stuff. But back then it was just contracts. And every time you get ready for a show, you're like, if I'm not in shape, they might not renew my contract.
Wait. What did you say? Did you say that you can make money from podcasts?
What money?
All the big followers, but
interesting.
Oh, money?
No, I was actually just
guess the noggin jogging.
I just started making money on YouTube, and then I got a thing like a couple of weeks ago. Your monetary has been suspended. You can appeal it or have to wait to May something, or because, you know, like my videos that I make, if I do a video or one of my old training tapes, you know, people make those little motivational montage things. So people have taken my videos, made their own little montage to music. I'm thinking, hey, that's cool. So because I shared that on my page, well, that's copyright. You're using other people's thing. But I'm like, I'm only using the video they've taken off me. It's just that they've done a good job of it. I like it. So because I shared it on my YouTube, YouTube took away my money making for the time being.
Wow.
Like,
damn. Some of those videos are getting millions of views using Lee Priest.
Yeah.
You know?
That's. I wish they were on my page.
All right. How's Paul? You still working on the mill? Or you good?
Yeah, I'm almost done. But prep, bro. Today I feel a lot better than I did the other day. It's also a rest day, so I mean that helps. I just got up from a nap.
Yeah. You chilling?
Yeah.
I feel bad here, like everyone's dieting. I'm the odd one out.
Zay's not dieting.
You paid your dues already.
Yeah, he did. Zay is bulking.
Yeah.
Look at his face. You see it? You see it in his face?
Oh my goodness.
He gets some
D-ball's
cheeks now.
kicking in.
Full moon.
Can you
get that little bit of water retention from the D-ball.
Yeah. It's good though. I like it. It's boosting my
I like
strength.
D-ball. I used to find 20 to 30 milligrams a day was enough for me with D-ball, but every time I took it, within a couple of weeks, you can tell it's like muscles fill out, your traps come up. It's like everything just sort of. I used to use that. I used to use D-ball or sometimes an Apollon or Enadrol 50 the last 4 weeks before a show. It used to keep me so full.
Which one of you guys can take orals without losing the appetite?
Dianabol I can, but Anadrol and that, it goes.
I can't with Anadrol either.
Anadrol, 2 weeks later, I'm done.
I'm done, yeah. D-ball, I could get away with what, like 4 to 6 weeks before it goes down a little bit, you know. Anadrol, I mean, shit. Sometimes in a week, it's just gone. It depends how high the food. Peak off season, there's no Anadrol. There's no chance. D-ball peak off season, maybe I'll throw it in 4 weeks, take it out, you know. But orals in general kind of kill my appetite, you know. I think too much gear in general can kill your appetite, right? You know, so like Lee said, off season, pushing food is gonna get you further than pushing drugs. I've tried it. I've tried pushing drugs. And do you add scale weight? Yeah, but that scale weight, once you lean down, it's gone. It's not real muscle. Because without the food, it's not muscle. It's just inflammation, fucking water weight. You know, so it's irrelevant to put on 5 pounds just to lose that 5 pounds of water weight anyway. So you got to push the food, which I'm sure Zayd is doing.
Yeah, as much as that I can, to be honest. I'm full walking around 24/7, bro. So that's a good sign, you know.
How's what's the calories looking like? I don't know if you count that.
Not anymore. I lost count. Just eat.
Lost,
you know.
Where your macros at?
Last time I checked, it was as long as I hit 400 grams of protein a day, I'm satisfied, man. You know, because I'm eating my meals and, like Lee said, snacks in between. You know, some days are better, but I'm honestly focusing on training harder in the gym. I'm eating good. But yeah, I'm pushing myself to train harder, more than calculating every little fucking calorie. You know, I'm not putting too much effort into the macros as much as I'm putting effort into the training. I want to take my training to the next step. You know, that's gonna build the muscle plus the food.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys actually know your macros? Like, I kind of know. I know where my protein is because I could do the math in my head, but I don't actually know how much fats or carbs I eat every day. Do you guys know that? Or I don't know.
I just go based on whatever the plan says. That's what I do.
But I mean, it's not hard to figure it out.
I only counted probably a couple of years my protein. I used to go roughly 2 pounds. I mean, 2 grams per pound of body weight, around that roughly. But yeah, carbs. I know. Just by looking at food, the lowest I ever went on carbs was probably 250 when I was dieting. I wouldn't go any lower than 250. I tried the low carbs once, and after 3 days of that, I went and fucking binged and ate like a pig. So I found 250 was good, but I used to eat a lot more too because all my time I've always done, because I had the time, I'll do 2 to 3 hours of cardio a day. People are like, why you do so much cardio? I'm like, because I'd rather eat more food. So I just eat more food and do more cardio. So
Yeah. Anytime I've worked with Compton, he'll usually push the cardio a little higher before he gets me like below 100 carbs. And then I tried it myself and I went 0 carbs and I got small, because if you don't have the fuel to be able to train hard or do cardio hard, it's like you only want to go low enough, but if you don't have the fuel to go to work, do the cardio, and then train hard, you're almost going backwards, right? Because wouldn't you want to eat a little bit more carbs?
That feeling. It's like that feeling you walk into the gym when you're like that, and you just feel so, just like you're going through the motions training. You're just like, or you're on the treadmill. You're just like, it's like you said, you're not putting any effort in because you don't really have the energy to put it out there. So I'd rather have a bit more so I could really, it's like, when I have a cheat day, people have cheat meals, but I'd cheat the whole day. I'm like, if I'm going to blow one meal, I'll do it all day. So, but when I do that, the energy I had to go do cardio and that sort of thing, it's like, because you feel like you got to burn it off now, and it always lasts a bit. Then some days I'd go 2 cheat days because, you do one cheat day, the next day you wake up, you're like, fuck, I look better. I can do this again. So you do it again, and maybe the next day you're like, oh, I went a bit too far. So,
yeah. So, Zayd, what's the cycle looking like now? Is it you bumped it up a little bit or no?
Yeah, for I use GH, 50, then a ball, 400 EQ, and 400 test. Train hard.
Getting there, Zay. Yeah, we starting to get there now. Making some
steps.
I bought some insulin, so I'm gonna start taking that shit.
Take it easy, Zay.
You probably got that shit from Walmart over the counter, bro.
$24.99, bro.
I never did insulin my whole career. I never did insulin, and I only did growth. 94 and 96 for only 2 years. I did growth, and I figured I didn't really notice anything from it, probably because I was still only in my early 20s. But I figured now I'm coming on 52. Maybe I should get on the growth now and see if it just helps me overall.
Yeah. I've had clients. I don't want to say your body type because that's a bit extreme, but I've had clients who are like stockier, put on muscle easier, kind of like a shorter guy who just puts on really round and full. I find that they really just don't really need that shit. I mean, you put them on growth and insulin and they gain weight, but do they look better? Not really. Even the gear.
Yeah. Well, even when it came to gear, people always called me a liar, but from day one, I've always told the exact amounts I've used. When it came to test, Cypionate or whatever, I wouldn't go over 400. Sus 250, I take 2 mils, which was 500. So if I was doing a cycle, it'd be like 400 of test, maybe 200 to 300 a deca, and then Dianabol 30 milligrams a day. That would be it type thing. People are like, oh, you're lying. You take this. I'm like, if I took 1,000, I'll tell you I take 1,000. I don't give a shit if you know what I take, but I'd rather let you know, listen, you can do it, but you don't need these huge amounts. I said, when you're taking these huge amounts, I was in England doing seminars, and some young kids are taking 3 to 5 grams of test a week. I'm like, where the fuck do you put that amount? It's like the only one who's going to benefit is the guy you're buying it off because he's getting rich because you're buying a lot of gear and shit. But, that's why I tell you, even the ones that were taking it, sadly, like Boston Lloyd or these, the ones who have taken a large amount finally come to realize, hey, I don't need that much. I can actually come back. And that's why I tell people, look, if you think I'm lying and you're using a huge cycle, why don't you come clean for a while and then go back on and start with a small amount and see what happens? If it doesn't work, fine, go back to abusing it. But just try and tell people you don't need these large amounts that people think you need. Because some young kids now, they've only been trained a year, if that, and their first cycle is 800 of this and 600 of that. I'm like, fucking hell. Then the next one, they go bigger again and bigger again. It's like
everybody's stuck in that more is better mind frame,
It would be cool if Boston was still alive because a lot of people don't know that he came around, right? Because you live and you learn. I mean, I think most of us have tried more than we should because I don't know, we're curious if it's going to work. I was able to get him on a podcast maybe I don't know how long before he passed, and you can tell how much more he matured, and he realized that this just it wasn't the way, you know. But granted, he never did that with his clients. His clients, he always did your against your regular cycle. So I think if he was alive, he would have been able to do a lot more benefit now. But he would have been what 32 or so. I think he would have been able to be like, hey, listen, I did this, and this is not the way, and I learned the hard way. You don't have to learn the hard way. That would have been dope to see him on the other side of that, you know, for a longer period of time. But we didn't get to see that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No. I might reshare that podcast so people can, because I don't think a lot of people saw that one, but I wanna reshare that one.
Right, I did. Used to be a guy called Trevor from Nuclear Nutrition back in the day at Gold's, and he was massive, close to 400 pounds, strong as an ox, and he was helping me for a while just with my training. And he was like, imagine how big you could be if you took more. And he goes, why don't you start taking, you know, Cypionate 800? And I took 800 milligrams for a couple of weeks. I honestly felt worse. I felt like shit. You know, people go, oh, test me stronger. When I was on 800 for a couple of weeks, I actually felt like my strength was going down. I just felt like crap. So I went back to the small amount and I felt good again.
When you have the genetics and muscle bellies, it's a different ball game. You know, my training partner is natural, right? I'm like, oh, let's do the cow. I'm like, I honestly think your first shot, you could win your weight class. He'll be like a middleweight. And then he's like, I think I want to stay natural. And at first I'm like, what's the point of that? You're wasting your time. And now that as I'm seeing him get leaner, I'm like, I got to be honest. You're gonna win anyways. It doesn't fucking matter. You're just genetically superior. So whether you hop on gear or not, honestly, you're gonna beat these guys anyway. So people like that, if he ever does do gear, which he probably will, I'm probably gonna have bare minimum, and he's gonna blow everybody out the water. You either have it or you don't.
And that's what I tell people too. You know, you get these people to come up there. I'm sure Stu gets everyone gets that come up. I want to be a pro. I want to be Mr. Olympia. You're like, okay, well, calm down. You know, going from pro to be a pro is sometimes hard enough, and then to be Mr. Olympia, you're talking about this top 1% type thing. And they're like, what should I do? I'm like, listen, I said, if you enjoy training, just eat properly, get your rest, train your ass off. And I said, before you even touch a drug, like you said, just genetically, if you have it, you have it. You'll be training and you'll build muscle before you even touch any type of drug at all. But, you know, people today are just so impatient. It's like, I always tell the young kids, go as far as you can naturally before you start putting shit into yourself, you know. And, you know, sadly, we see it all the time. People, you see it in gyms, this guy's on this guy's on that. And they haven't even, you look at them, you're like, do you even train? But they think, I've got to take more. And that's the sad thing because, you know, I've always said, you know, I've got friends that play tennis. They do it for fun. They enjoy it, golf. But they're not saying, I'm going to go take on Nadal next week. I'm going to be a professional tennis player. They do it for fun. But sadly, nearly everyone that goes into the gym and lifts weights, takes a bit of gear, thinks that they can be like a Mr. Olympia type body. If I get on gear, I'm going to build muscle. Then when they don't, they take more. Why isn't it happening? They must be taking something I don't have. Look, genetics and everything else, or even if your genetics aren't that good, I've seen people with genetics who are just subpar, but because they got it mentally and they got that drive, they can sometimes beat people who have got better genetics just because of their drive and willpower. So I always tell people, if you got it, it's going to happen. So just enjoy the ride, train hard, and see where it takes you.
See what's up. Hey, Stu, are you sponsored by Uprising, or are you just rocking the shirt?
Guy just gave me a shirt, and
okay.
I like the shirt. It's very comfy.
Have you tried the products too?
Yeah, I have. I like them a little too much. So like I don't want to like turn it into a habit, but I have.
It's hard to explain it because people ask me about it, the Kratom. I'm like, well, I just find because I hate pre-workouts because I don't like that whole shitty feeling. But the Kratom for me, I just feel like, I know Branch takes it and he sleeps all good, but I find if I take it and go to the gym, I just want to be in the gym more. It gives me that focus to keep training and do more and more. But yeah, people say like it can be addictive. I know they give it to people who are coming off, you know, Oxycontin and all those type of things to help them wean off that. But I've taken it and stopped taking it. And like I said, when I had my neck operation, I was on Oxycontin for months and months, and I went to stop it, and fucking hell, the body went into fucking shaking and that. So I put myself in detox for 2 weeks to come off all the Oxycontin and codeine, and I what's the other one? Oxycontin and something else, or endones. And ever since then, I've never touched it again, type thing. But shit, that Oxycontin and that, if people get on that,
yeah, that's wild. Yeah, when people try to explain it to me, it's hard to understand because it seems like it does everything. It seems like it's like, you know, it seems like it gives them energy, it relaxes them, it helps them sleep. I'm like, holy shit, this sounds like.
I think it's one of those things that's like, you know, back in the day, people used to do party drugs. They're like, what's it like? It's like, well, some people take a party drug and it just then heightens whatever. If they're having sex, it makes them more sexual. If they're out dancing, it makes them want to dance more. And I probably find the kratom similar. If I'm training, while I'm training, it makes me focus more on that. Whereas Branch, he said he uses it to sleep. So I think whatever you're doing, it probably just helps whatever you're doing in the time. It just sort of works for that way. But it's hard to explain. But I always tell people you have to sort of try it. Because I think it's made from like coffee leaf extracts and stuff like that. Here in Australia, it's banned. So you know it must work good because our government bans
everything's banned there, isn't it?
Everything that works good.
Hey, anything that makes you healthy and that, we don't want that, but we'll give you cigarettes and alcohol and other.
Hey, Lee, how close do you follow the sport nowadays? Have you kept up with the?
I still watch a bit of it. Yeah, I watch like a lot of podcasts when they have all the contests on, and I watch, you know, try and watch the majority of podcasts when people are on, and then the contests and that. I watched that Detroit show just not long ago.
What did you think about Rafa versus Tonio? Did you feel like Rafa deserved to win?
To me, I think I've seen Rafa look better. Now, it's just me personally, and like I said, it's going off, you know, videos and stuff, so it's, you know, totally different to being there, I guess. But I liked Tonio better. I think just overall polish and just his size and conditioning, where I've seen Rafa better. So whether I'm just going off, you know, when you sometimes see someone really good and they come in like this, he still looks great, but you're sort of in your mind, you're comparing him to how he's looked before. So I probably would have given it to Tonio, and I haven't kept up on all the online going back and forth lately though, but people are saying he's saying he clogged his toilet and he's going. Like,
it kind of got
getting more worked up. I've seen like they're posting comments back and forth, going at each other. I'm like, oh god.
They kind of got carried away. I don't like to make it a gluten ham show because I don't think bodybuilding should always be a gluten ham show.
Tell me about that.
But it's hard to deny just Tonio's condition and polish, like from front to back, head to toe. You know, but you know,
I think, like I said, I think he had him, and it's like I can see it too because, you know, they're in Brazil, that's his country, so it's like it's hard when you got the crowd behind you, and like I said, it might have only been a little bit in it, and that would have been enough to maybe give it to thing, but it's like, like I said, I don't know, just like I said, if I look at that there, I'm drawn to Tonio all the time more than things. So I just thought, like, overall, like I said, it would have been close, but if we're going, you know, picking hairs here, I just prefer, I think he had the better package overall. Not by much, but just enough, I think, to give him that win. But I think, what's his name, got the win because it was his country, Brazil, and that. And so, yeah.
You got it. I feel like because we're all dieting now, I think we have to try to be a little less harsh on the critique. Because when I watched the last episode, I'm like, it sounded a little bit harsh on Rafa. And then for the Detroit, the Gabriel guy, I feel like it sounded a little harsh, the critique. So
I agree. Yeah.
But it's not on purpose. It's just that it's like we're boys that we talk about these things in private. So we kind of forget it's on record. And you gotta keep in mind, these people are like been dieting for months. They watch this shit and they're like, hey, what the fuck? He just fucking not Rafa. I don't think Rafa watches it. You know, but
I think too, you have to get to a point though where we're in a sport where you are a judge. You know, back when I was doing it, we didn't have, you know, Instagram and that sort of thing. I think we had the message boards and MySpace back in the day, so that was about it. So we didn't get all this interaction where, you know, you just have to, you know, they have to be like water off a duck's back. Yes, you can let it get to you, but you know, it's just people's opinions, and you know, some people are going to like you, some hate you. Even if you look your best and win a show, people are still going to talk shit about you. So it's like, you know, you're never going to please everyone. So Even when people talk crap about me, I never let it go to heart. And even when I was competing, I'd get a lot of shit, but I'm just like, it's just someone's opinion. So people just really have to let it go. Yes, you can be disappointed on your placings and stuff, but someone's opinion online, you should just, and like I said, you guys here and other podcasts, you're just giving constructive criticism or just what you think. It's not like you're attacking someone personally saying, hey, you're shit, blah, blah, blah. Man, you're on a pro show, you win, you got second, you're still great. We're only giving out a little bit of opinion, so they shouldn't let it get to them as much, because some do take it personal and I hate you, I'll never talk to you again. Next thing you know, they're not following anymore. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, it actually happens that way. No, I mean, people talk about us too, but I don't think it bothers us that deeply.
I don't think anyone talks about us, dude.
You don't read the comments then. You don't read the YouTube comments, do you? Now, once you get like 2 weeks out, don't even read the comments, because it's gonna it might get to your head.
Don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
Did you have Martin winning this, Lee? And what do you think about Vito?
I did. I thought Vito looked great, and he has that like freaky type of body. But again, I think if you're really looking at it, I just think Martin just looked overall polished. I think his symmetry looked a little bit better. If I'm looking at two physiques, I like freaky physiques, don't get me wrong, like Vito, but I just think Martin overall just looked more complete and polished than Good Vito did. And so I think I like Good Vito because he's still new at it. I think he's only going to get better, or as long as he doesn't go too overboard and, get freaky. Then they get the freaky stomach when they try and push the envelope too much. So, but like I said, it could have gone either way, but I think Martin, just edged him out.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about Vito's antics? Like he seems to touch his competitors a lot. He touched Martin about 4 times during this. Would that annoy you guys, or it's all fun?
I think I'd get annoyed.
All right, I'm gonna touch you on stage in Cal, Joe.
No, I mean, if it's like a 1 or 2 times, say it's like a showdown like this, okay, but don't constantly touch me.
Okay,
well, I had
4 times. Okay, got it.
Yeah, limit it to 4, Stu.
I remember it could have been the Iron Man. It was me and Dexter. And like I said, I'm like you. To me, it was like when people go, Lee, glutes need to be hard. I'm like, look, my glutes are hard. They're just not got lines in them. It's like, to me, it's like I said, I got into bodybuilding that like Tom Platzer's legs, such and such his arms. I never looked at someone like Aspire and said, man, I want to have an ass like that. I was more about the arms, the legs. So
you had a good smack.
Yeah, the old. So when I was doing a comparison, we turned to the back and Dexter turned around, he bent over and he patted me on the ass like that, and he's just like shaking his head. So I just bent down and patted him on the calves and went.
See, no, that would probably annoy me though. That would probably annoy me if you smack my ass and say no. That's come on, man.
It's one thing if you're complimenting me, but if you're insulting me, don't touch me.
Yeah,
well, that's why I touched him on the calves and went.
Yeah.
I'm just as lost as you.
I think if it was Joe and I know him, that's one thing. But if it's a stranger, I don't know, man. Vito seems so playful and funny that I probably wouldn't mind Vito, if I'm being honest. But it depends who it is. Some people, you don't want anybody just touching you on stage like that.
Like if Stu did that to me, I'll pat him on the hair, his little hair poof.
Jealousy's a hell of a drug, huh, Joe?
Bravo. It'll be like Kai and Phil when they got a bit close on stage that time, and
got too close. Got too close.
Stu's gonna hit you with his poof.
Watch yourself.
I think at that point, I think Kai was defeated mentally, and I think he wanted to fight Phil. I think at that point he's like, "Fuck it, if I can't knock him out."
Who do you think would have won that fight if it had gone down?
Bro. I really
definitely Kai.
Yeah. I think Kai has that bit of mad dog in him. If it came down to like a fight there, like a street fight, I think Kai would.
I agree. Well, because Kai is intentionally being polite and well spoken. This is not how Kai talks in private. Like in real private in Brooklyn, this is not how he talks. He talks like he's from Brooklyn.
I used to say that when I was backstage with Kai, he's just talking normal, and then at the seminar he'll be like, "Well, you see, the universe is made up of. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like,
Who's
what's
this
he
guy?
talking about? He's going all fucking Richard Dawkins on us or something now. He's going fucking.
Yeah. Kai, he had a couple of scars. Did he get that scar fixed? Didn't he had this big scar on his face at one point?
Yeah.
He did.
I don't know if it's still there.
Is that like a gang initiation thing?
Come on, Stu.
I don't, dude. I've heard that about him. Seriously.
It's just
No.
just near his tear eye drop tattoos.
I think
No, I swear to God, I've heard that at some point about that scar on his face.
who knows? He might have got into some altercation or some shit. Fucking crackhead in the building attacked him. There's no telling.
I'm not being racist. I'm just like I thought that's actually what it was.
He probably died for a show. He was eating a meal. He was low on carbs. He was holding the knife and he just fell forward.
Well, somebody told me he fell off the what do you call it, the stairmaster at the gym before in prep, and he actually kind of hurt himself. You know, Kai was at one point I was going to Fifth Avenue gym in Brooklyn. And Kai was a different kind of animal, bro. You can tell when somebody's prepping through pain, and he didn't give a fuck. I think he would have died. He didn't care if he died in prep. He was willing to. At that point, he was with Oscar, so he was like shoulder pressing 5 plates. He was doing hours on the stairmaster. We're talking about like all out stairmaster. Oscar would watch him. Oscar would stand there for an hour and watch him do the stairmaster at crazy speeds. I'm like, at 300 pounds, I'm like, this it doesn't make any sense. But you know, you gotta be. I think it was maybe overkill because when he got with George, he actually did less. He wasn't that shredded though, but he was.
Well, if you got it from the stairmaster, I'd go with Stu's story. The gang initiation sounds better.
Yeah,
it does. It sounds way better. All right, let's see. We got anything to talk about besides the shows? I guess
I'm not until like New York. That's the only show.
Yeah. That's the next show, isn't it? New York's the next one.
yeah.
I think so. So I heard Chris Aceto said that Vito might try to do the Cal because he wants to see family in Russia, so he won't do the New York. So and Antonio is doing the New York and Cal, right? Still,
Presumably, yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. Do we know anybody else doing? We can't seem to find who else is doing Cal. Do we know for sure? Or not really. You guys are doing it, Antonio.
Nobody cares about us. So
Is New York just the first one qualifies? Are they still top 2 or 3 at New York qualifies?
no, it's just first place every show.
First.
Even Arnold, it's just first place.
I think there's enough shows now that won't be necessary. You know. Maybe
I think it's good. It's good as like, well, back in when I was competing, it used to suck because we'd only have 15 in the Olympia, which wasn't bad. But back then, you'd have like Flex doing 4 shows. So if it was just first place, it's like, well, fuck, Flex is going to win the next 4 shows. So I think that's why they started giving it to the second place because so many guys back then would do so many shows that, first place was always gone if Flex turned up or someone. So you'd be like, well, fuck, I'm not qualifying at this one again.
You kind of have to do that. Imagine if okay, Nick wins New York and then he goes and do 3 more shows and Antonio does 3 more shows and Stu does nobody's gonna fucking qualify. So at that point you gotta start giving like
did you hear that, Stu? He said you can't beat Nick, Stu. He just said you can't beat Nick.
Yeah, I agree.
Where's the support?
I agree.
I'm gonna go collect my participation trophy and hopefully win enough money to pay for the trip.
That's what Nathan said. Remember Nathan said, why even show up in New York if Nick's gonna win? And Stu was like, I guess everybody just stay home then. Don't even
fuck it.
Don't even bother. All right.
Hey, Nick could go in as a champ, but there's been, I mean, when I was competing, sometimes that champ, you figure, we can't beat him, but some days he'll turn up and you go, fuck, he missed his peak today. It's on. So you can never, yes, him, in good condition is hard to beat, but, everyone's beatable on any given day. It just, like I said, you miss that little bit of timing, anyone can take the title. So
Wait, I just saw. Didn't I see somewhere that Martin is doing? I thought the Martin is doing New York. No,
He said he was going to, uh, but I don't know if he still is. Well, since he
I
won.
I swear I saw this today. Let me see if I could. If
Yeah,
Martin is
a lot of
doing,
people, a lot of people say that after they've won a show. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Then a couple of days later, oh, fuck that.
because the high,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw it just now. Let me share my screen. Yeah, that would I guess that would spice it up. You excited about that, Stu?
What, if Martin's doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Let's
wanting to
see.
compete against Martin forever.
Let's see. Yeah, I saw it somewhere here. I think it was. I want to say Bro Chat or Bodybuilding without Bro Chat.
you're with a pole on gym, aren't you, Stu?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Rob's a good guy.
yeah. I like Rob, dude. He's funny, but
Mhm.
they take some getting used to. The Ukrainians, they're funny.
Yeah, look, it says Martin, right? It said Martin's doing the New York. I haven't listened to it yet, so if it's not true, don't quote me. But it says Martin's doing New York Pro. That would, I guess that would spice it up even more.
Everybody's doing New York.
It's kind of heating up. So okay, so that makes Nick, Tonio, Stu, Martin,
Joe, you should jump in there, bro.
Yeah, we gonna just at this point we're gonna be like, okay, allegedly quitting, right? Let's say allegedly,
Yeah.
just to Quinn fucking. All right, Quinn's doing the fucking New York. Everybody fucking knows. Everybody fucking knows. Okay,
Hardy's doing it. Hardy's doing it. Rami's doing it. Everyone's doing it.
There's gonna be Angel Calderon, right? There's gonna be probably some more New Yorkers. That's a solid top six. With Martin now, that's a solid fucking top six, you know. But hopefully Martin shuts it down and he doesn't go around and take qualifications from people because that's gonna be rough.
What
I
about
mean, if he
John
does,
De La Rosa? Is he doing it?
no. Patrick Torp, he said they're gonna shut it down and then put on some muscle and then do a show later on this year. I don't get it because I think he could have won Detroit. With the way Martin showed up, maybe not, but possible. Arnold Brazil, he could have possibly went Arnold Brazil. Rafa was off. I don't know, but
I always think if there's a couple of shows near each other and you're in shape, try and do as many as you can. I know people go, it's hard on the body, but if you're going through all that dieting, once you're in shape, it's easy to hold it there. And like I said, I never abused the gear too much, and I never did any peak week. I just ate the same food. If the show was Saturday, I'd still train Friday because I always thought, if I'm dieting 16 weeks, from week 1 to week 16, I eat the same food. I have the water and that. The only thing I do is like that last week, slowly cut my water down. But food was the same, training was the same, my gear was the same. I always find people in that last week, we've all been guilty of it in the beginning where you figure, okay, it's the last week. I need to get a little bit tighter. I need to do this. So you start thinking, or you might talk to your coach if you got one. You start thinking, should we do this and that? And to me, it's like, for 15 weeks, you've been eating at the same time, the same food, taking the gear, doing this. That last week, people go, I'm going to stop training here, stop doing my cardio, change the drugs, change the food. And your body just goes, bah. So it's always, to me, it just seemed hit and miss that you're throwing your body out of whack that last week by doing this little bit of hocus pocus. So I always just found if I stayed on the same thing, that way you could go from show to show because I haven't carved up, I haven't done anything chemical wise. It's going to make my body rebound. So it was easy just to keep going from show to show.
Yeah. I mean that makes perfect sense. My thing is this, right? If you guys are, I guess this is the question to all you guys. If you're in shape, you're shredded. You just beat everybody basically in the world besides Samson, Hadi, and Rafa, and you're already in shape. Would you rather then get out of shape, put on muscle, just to get back into shape to qualify for the Olympia and do the Olympia? Wouldn't it make better sense to qualify now that you're already in shape and then rebound a little bit and then pull slightly for the Olympia? That seems easier on the body, seems easier in the mind. No.
Is it though? Because I mean, the Arnold Classic was the beginning of March, and we're in middle of April now, so that's like 7 weeks that he would have had to like hold it together to get to like do Detroit, or the Arnold Brazil, right? Like that's not easy, staying peeled for 7 weeks. Like anybody who's actually been like peeled knows how horrible it is, right? It's staying in that kind of shape for a month and a half, 2 months. I mean, you kind of get used to it the longer you do this, but like, no, that's a lot easier said than done. And personally, like for my part, like if I am in that kind of condition for a month straight, I'm going to fall apart. Like mentally is one thing, right? But like physically, like my training will go to shit. My just being that lean is really stressful on your body. Maybe other people are different, but like, yeah, I mean,
I was going to say,
but he's not going to qualify if he does that. He has to keep
I was
going
gonna
until
say,
he
like-
qualifies, you know?
Yeah, like Stu said, I always found when I was doing it, mentally was the hardest. Physically, I was good. But like you said, if you start losing it mentally, then it's like a deck of cards from that point on. Once you start getting a little bit of negative thought mentally going down that thing, it's like, I remember I was staying in shape for a long time for a few shows and got to the point where there was, I think, another show coming up, and mentally I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I had to do it. So it's like, you get to the point where I'm sure you might have been there where you might cut your calories down a bit more, you're doing more cardio, but your body's just not responding anymore. It's almost like your body said, hey, I've had enough. It's like it's shut down no matter what you do. You're not getting harder. You're not getting anything. It's just like your body's telling you it's time to shut it down.
Zayd said that he may not qualify if he does later because it's so competitive. Is that what you mean, Zayd?
Yeah, very
it's
much
competitive
so.
in New York and Cal, though. I mean, it's never not going to be competitive this year.
But the Detroit Pro was a good shot for him. He could have been in the mix.
You're preaching to the fucking choir, dude. Trust me. Yeah, it would have been, but
this was Patrick.
Did you look at Detroit still and go, I should have done that one?
Yeah,
for sure. Isn't
it funny though? I remember when I was competing with those shows like that, you'd be like, well, that show is always pretty. It's not that good. That'll be a good one to qualify. And the time I go to do it, call me as there.
Everybody shows up. Yeah,
everybody shows up. Yeah. No, what Patrick said is that it's Patrick said that I believe he's the top 10 Olympian. He said if my beliefs are true, then it shouldn't matter what show he does because all the shows are competitive. I gotta agree with that. If he can't qualify later on, he probably can't qualify now, right? That's the truth. And
yeah, but I mean, there's like 25 top 10 Olympians out there, right? On any given day, right? So there's only so many spots. I can't really fault the guy for not continuing.
No. Well,
of course we understand, but he was right there, you know.
And he did win a good chunk of change at those two shows. You know, he got third or fourth in the UK. So, like, you know, that's a good check.
Like,
what shows are left? Like in America, you have the New York, then you have the Cal, and that. There's a few overseas still, isn't there?
There's Chicago, Tampa, and Texas. No Orlando this year.
Vancouver,
that kind of counts. Yeah, Toronto, that kind of counts. It's North America.
Damn. Not a lot.
Yeah, still got a few then, yeah.
See,
isn't there Dubai Pro this year or no?
Next year. That's a little out of the way though, and everyone's going to be doing that. I mean, there's a lot of money up for grabs.
Here's the issue. Not an issue. I guess it's a good thing. I was on desktop with Nathan yesterday, and he's like, usually when this happens, right, and it's super competitive here, the American guys, like we've seen Regan do this, go overseas to qualify. But he's like, don't try that shit this year because he said we got Crizzo, we got Nexzilla, we got Nathan, we got Vito, we got fucking Beirut. He said these motherfuckers are gonna bring it. So if you think you're about to fly to Europe and get a qualification, think again. At this point, for whatever reason, the stars have aligned. Yo, it's going to be hard for anybody to qualify, whether you're in America, fucking Middle East, but it's going to be hard. And those are like, I just rattled off 5 guys off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more that I'm not even thinking about overseas. That
you're in Dubai right now. You need to learn how to swim, so.
I heard about that flood. They had like a crazy flood.
Oh, you see it on the news. Water everywhere. The airport's flooded. Looks like a marina.
What the fuck does a desert flood? I mean, come on, guys, figure it out.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah. So the truth is that your body can only handle so much. If John wanted to give his best chance to qualify, he would have to literally do every show to give himself the best. But you're not gonna look better if you're doing every show. So that's just not realistic, So it is what it is. You do what you can, and if you don't qualify, you come back better next year. I mean, this is the most competitive league in the world. So it's not like there's no easy handouts, especially right now, So, all right, you guys want to get into questions? I want to keep it 2 hours today, or under 2 hours. You guys want to get into questions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's weird.
I never want to reveal the guest, so I never actually say who the guest is. But if we have Lee on again, I wanna say questions for Lee, because I want to see the kind of questions Lee would get. All right. Who's the best ever Puerto Rican bodybuilder?
Wait for it.
I got
Wait for it.
Alexa.
He just left.
I mean, if we're being serious, what's the guy who got third? He passed away recently.
Was Victor
Gustavo
Puerto Rican,
Waddell.
or
No, Victor was Dominican, but I think Gustavo.
Dominican,
Gustavo
right,
was Puerto Rican or half.
Gustavo was, he was Puerto Rican.
He was, I mean, he was top 3, right? He was top 3.
Yeah.
Hey, I wasn't following the sport as close as I do now, but did he really beat Dexter? And you feel like was he better than Dexter at that time? Because I'm like, how did he beat Dexter? He must have been.
Maybe on that day he was, because I beat Dexter. I beat Dexter a few times, so it can happen. Okay.
It's possible.
Yeah, I beat Ronnie. He's never got over it. He keeps bringing that up.
But why does that make him so upset? Because your height? It's not a height contest.
That's what he goes. He goes, I got beat by a little guy because Lee was only 5 foot whatever, and I was this big. And that's like when I won to San Francisco, Chris was second and Dexter was third. And backstage, I'm like, Chris, what did you weigh? He's like 260. I'm like, oh fuck, you got beat by a guy 199. He's like, fuck you.
Well, Lee said it best. I don't remember what video it was, but he was like, guys say the small guy, right, or big guy. He's like, hey, if I got 20-inch arms and I'm 5'4", 5'5", and you got 20-inch arms and you're 6 foot, who's the big guy? Who's the big guy?
Just say taller, not big.
Exactly. That's how I feel sometimes when I see some of these shows. People say, well, this guy's bigger. I'm like, not really. Like Hadi and Samson, I'm like, Samson's taller, but I mean, Hadi just got, he's just as dense and muscular,
If you to break it down like height pound for pound, because even Paul Dillette when Paul Dillette lived with me, he'd be like, pound for pound, you're going by height now. He goes, you've got just as much mass on your frame as what I do, type thing. So if not more, if you're going by comparison. So
yeah. What sport do you think you guys can go pro in besides bodybuilding? I think Lee already did it. Did you go pro in I forget what it's called.
I did car racing and won the championship car racing.
So yeah, you did it already. Good. I think anybody. What about Joe? What can you turn pro in? Hot dog eating contest.
I was going to say, is eating a contest, does that count as a sport?
Yeah, be a professional leader, 100%.
That shit is difficult, but I mean, I think if somebody could do it, Joe could do it. What about Paul?
I think I'd be really good at powerlifting.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Oh, I guess Paul used to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. I was younger.
Well, can you consider that a pro a pro sport? No offense to any powerlifters watching the
I
show.
mean, I don't know. If you have a world record, you're a professional.
Yeah. You could be.
I wouldn't mind, because I used to like shooting when I was young. I wouldn't mind shooting or archery. I find that would be a fun challenge type thing to go pro in, like archery and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I guess when I was in England, I did a lot of clay shooting. I was pretty good at that. The guy I was with got all pissed off because he does it all the time. My first time ever, two come out, boom, boom, I'm blowing him off. He's like, fuck this. So I was like, I think I just fluked it that day and hit them all. But I think this was fun. He's like, fuck that. Yeah, but I think stuff like that. I think anything that's a challenge, I find. I find too that even like with the car racing or anything, it's like bodybuilding. If you find something and it's fun, I think you'll always go a lot further in it. You know, the second you go, oh, it's like a job, I got to do this. That's why I always tell people, if you're getting into bodybuilding, keep it fun. You know, have fun going to the gym. If you've got a training partner, you know, have fun, have challenges and stuff like that. Because the second you start going, oh, I got to go to the gym again, I got to do this. If you lose that drive and that passion, it's like I tell people, we have a rugby team here, and they go shit, they go bad because when they trained at one of the gyms I was at, you hear them, they're always talking about pleasing the local crowd, pleasing their sponsors. And I'm like, when you start putting pressure on it, I think we do it to ourselves. We want to please everybody. I think I was like, you know what? Go back to why you got into it. You know, find that kid inside yourself. You got into it because you loved doing it. You had the passion. If you can find that young kid in yourself and do it for the fun of it and the passion again, all that other shit will fall into place. The fans will be happy. The sponsors will be happy. But if your main focus is to please everybody else, I find just that added stress and pressure makes you fucking worse. You just don't live up to your standards, or you won't be the best you can be when you're trying to please everybody else.
For sure, you know.
Well said. Yeah,
I could definitely agree with that. Shit, what was the question again? I forgot.
You can be professional at something else.
Selling if you're a pro?
Oh yeah. So let's go, Zayd.
Does masturbating count? I'd be a gold medalist. I'll be a gold medalist.
I've been a pro since I was in middle school.
People said, how did I get these forearms? Well,
let me tell you.
Prodigy.
I probably would go pro in horseback riding. I love horseback riding, dude. Growing up, I rode a lot of horses, and I used to, you know, my family owned a few horses, and I learned. But I quit because I don't know, for some reason I had a fallout with my instructor, and I never got a new one. And that's it. And after that, I traveled, so it kind of died out. But I enjoy horseback riding. It's pretty fun.
Funny you say that. When I was younger, I used to ride horses and won ribbons on a horse because my cousin, he was into equestrian. So I used to do it and that, and I had all the outfit, the joppers. I had a nice pinto horse, and I won a few ribbons doing all the cantering and, you know, the different carters you got to do and the around the barrels and that. That's like when I was 12, and that's before I started bodybuilding, I had a horse.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it is.
It could be really fun if you bond with the horse and you have a horse and all that stuff.
That's the worst I ever saw my grandmother, though, because where we kept the horses, my cousin took my grandmother down one day, and we're just over there training. My cousin put my grandmother on this older horse just to plot around on. But what my cousin didn't realize was that the horse was an ex-race horse. So my grandmother's on it, and it's trotting around. So it's getting a bit faster. So my grandmother locks her legs on. But because this was a race horse, it was like locking the legs on tight means the horse. Next thing you know, my grandmother locks her legs on. The horse starts bolting. She throws herself off it, lands on her arm, breaks her arm, her face. She looked like the Elephant Man. Her face was out here. I'm like, holy fuck.
All right.
I changed my answer. I'd rather be a strong man. That's the coolest shit ever. Strong man. I prefer to be a strong man, not powerlifter.
That's what Joe looks like off season. He looks like a strong man.
It's still on the body. That's still along the bodybuilding team. Got to go left foot. Okay?
I'm not good at anything else. I'm really good at picking shit up and eating a lot of food.
Now Joe is like effortlessly strong. It looks like a joke. You're kind of like, it doesn't look like it looks like fake weight, you know. It just moves, you know. So
you know who does that every time I see him online sometimes is James Hollingshead when he's squatting and shit. I see him doing 8 plates. I'm like,
That's crazy.
It's like
It looks-
he goes deep and he just up and down. I'm thinking, has he got fake plates on there? That looks too easy.
It looks
Yeah.
crazy. The first time I saw James, this was before James wasn't this popular back then. I can't remember when this was. It was quite some time ago. Before he started winning shows and stuff like that. But he was working out with Larry. Larry came to the UK and they were working out. At the time, I didn't really know who James was. And of course, you know, Larry, he goes up to 6 plates. And I'm like, okay. And then James goes under and hits it for like a couple reps. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, 'cause he wasn't even that big at the time. He was like, I mean, he was big, but he wasn't as big as he is now. And I was, this bodybuilder just bench 6 plates like for reps. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. You know, I don't know if he still does that, but his strength is just next level, you know. Oh, Stu. Did Stu answer the question?
Dude,
sport?
I wouldn't be good at anything. Maybe
No
lacrosse, but that's another stupid sport that nobody pays you to do.
I wouldn't be good at anything.
Lacrosse,
you know what I was getting ready? It is a sport we'll be good at. Now, this almost made me give up bodybuilding. You know, that last couple of weeks you're in prep, like you said, mentally, you're just mentally tired. You're doing your cardio. You're looking at the timer going, oh, when's this going to end? I look up on the TV. I remember I was at Gold's Gym in Texas, Austin, Texas. And I look up and it's like, oh, look at this. Red Bull sponsors, huge crowd in Vegas, $1 million prize money. I'm like, oh, great. Guess what it was the World Championship for? And the winner got $1 million.
Bull riding.
Rock, paper, scissors.
What?
Whoa. Wait, what?
Killing myself going to the Ironman thinking if I win, I get 15,000. These fuckers are standing there going, $1 million for doing that.
That's crazy
Yeah.
how that happened.
It's a tough sport. I want to know.
How do you train for that one? When I see my competitor, he gets a twitch in his eye. I know he's going for the rock. I got to.
He's going for the rock.
You could go to the buffet in Vegas, eat all the buffet, and just I got to go compete now. I got a cramp. Hold on. Fuck.
What's your all-time favorite memory in bodybuilding? Huh.
I don't know. I think mine would be just traveling, meeting different fans and that. But I think some of my best memories would be just at World Gym when I used to just sit there talking to Arnold or Joe Gold and Eddie Giuliani. You know, Eddie's the one in Pumping Iron that jumps up on Arnold and that. I think just hearing some of their old stories, sitting in the office there, just hanging out with them would probably be some of the good memories and that. But apart from, like I said, traveling around and, you know, you meet fans. And like I said, to me, I'm just Lee. I don't see myself as this bodybuilder. So I find that even now, I was at an expo on the weekend when people come up and they're like, oh, you're Lee Priest. I'm like, I'm just Lee. It's like, I don't see myself as this thing. So I always find it weird when people see me that way because I'm just a big fucking dickhead. I don't take myself serious, but it's always weird when people say you've changed their life or you helped them in some way or got them out of a dark place. So I think that's always good to do, but it's like, it's one of those things you never get into it for that or never expect it. So like I said, I just find it weird because to me, I see myself as Lee. So when people see me as something like here, I'm like, look, yeah, I was a bodybuilder, big deal. I had a pro card. That just makes me a good bodybuilder. If you do plumbing for a living and you're a great plumber, well, I'm no better than you. I'm a good bodybuilder. You're a great plumber. So I never had that ego where I always thought, you know, some pros in all sports think, do you know who I am? I'm like, oh, fuck off, you're a fucking dickhead. So, you know, I always find it weird to this day that people see me like that because I'm just like, hey, I'm Lee, I'm a dickhead. Just calm down. Give it 5 minutes and you'll hate me. So it's okay.
I guess if the question, I don't know if it's your personal bodybuilding experience, I got memories, but I don't know if I have like. Let me read the question again. What's your favorite body memory? Oh, something that happened in the sport. I don't know if I could think of one. You guys got any?
I'm blank.
For myself, nobody knew who I was when I won USA's. That was my favorite.
Yeah. That's a good one. Stu didn't seem like he was in a different world. You're like, oh, I won. Wow, I didn't expect that. And he just
that was a trippy time for me because like I don't know. I had some of my family come to the show, some of my friends, but like for the most part, I was like I did that whole prep, like drove there, drove back all alone. I was just rolling solo the whole time. So yeah, that's probably my best memory just because like I feel like I did it on my own, without like a whole big support system around me because I've usually had that before. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did you think that you could win at all, or you didn't even cross your mind?
I was trying to like not
Sure.
set any expectations on myself because I hadn't competed at that level yet. But like, I knew that like, I looked better in person than I did on the internet, and I was like trying to like measure up like, okay, who's going to be there and stuff. And I was like, okay, I think I have the tools to beat these guys, but you don't know until you're standing next to them. So.
That off season, you got a little chunkier than you do nowadays, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't Joe fat. I mean, Jesus.
He wasn't Lee Priest fat now.
I never lost my abs. I mean,
I never lost my abs. That's Paul. They're always
He had his abs all the time.
He did have abs. They look
and
they
a
look
tire
chunky.
around your waist.
Bro, it's always good to have a spare on you.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the same. I always use my boxer shorts as a guide. It's like when my boxer shorts roll over once, I'm a little chunky. When they roll over twice, the muffin top's getting too big. So that's how I guide how fat I'm getting, by how many times my boxers turn over at the top.
I would just look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, I can still see like 2 abs there. We're good. We're good.
But even like I said, I think the longer you do it too, a lot of good memories are, because you probably have so many over the years. But even something like back in the day when we used to do the European tour, when it was like Ronnie, myself, Matarazzo, NASA, and we'd travel the world together. You'd be on the same plane, same buses. Just some of the funny shit that would happen along the way and that sort of thing. It's like they're all great memories too.
See, we don't have
That's
those
gotta be cool
memories.
as fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
We don't have those yet, but we're gonna have them because I think this Cal is gonna be fun. I think New York is gonna be fun for you, Stu. And then the Cal, we're all gonna link up, so that's gonna be fun. And we're gonna make some memories. Huh?
We almost had NASA killed a waiter when Paul and I, now I think we're in Budapest, and after the contest, I think Paul got 4th, I was 3rd, Kevin won, NASA 2nd. We're at the restaurant, we're just eating crappy food, but Paul and I just joking like, let's send NASA a piece of chocolate cake, as a joke. Fuck, I've never seen NASA flip out so much. He wanted to kill the waiter. This is fun, bringing me chocolate cake. And he's shouting at the guy, stands up, throws the cake, and the waiter points to us. He goes, they told me to do it. And NASA looks at us and we go, Lee, Paul, you think this is funny? It's like he lost his shit. Like that. And then as the tour went on, we're getting sick of dieting. And Milos is trying to diet more and get leaner. So he's popping more diuretics. Paul, myself, and Vince Taylor, we find a hamburger place in Helsinki and that. So we're eating shit. Milos sees us eating all this shit while he's taking diuretics. He's like, how the fuck do you keep beating me? I'm taking diuretics. So I just thought of funny stuff that would go on, and it was good.
You guys seen that NASA interview at the Olympia when the girls were trying to interview him?
I was in the change room with him and I at the 98 Olympia at the Madison Square Garden, just him and I in the change room, and another woman come in similar. Just want to ask you some questions. NASA's like, yes. So I'm just going to start off. So how many do you eat a lot? What sort of question is this? Do I eat a lot? That's a stupid question. Look at me. Of course I eat a lot. Get another question. After 3 questions, he's like, get out of here. You're stupid.
Bro,
I'm just standing there laughing. That's just kicking her out. He's like, these are stupid questions. You're obviously not intelligent because you're a woman. He's just like,
that interview was hilarious, but they kept going. No. My thing is like, after 2 questions, like, don't you just stop? They just kept asking him. I'm like, bro, you're not gonna get the answer that you want from him. Just stop. Mm-hmm. They kept going, bro. Imagine doing that today. There's no way that can fly.
It sounds like a challenge.
Oh, Stu might be the one. This is a good question, being that we have Lee on. Best forearms in history.
Phil Heath had some really good forearms, bro.
Yeah. So does
Crazy
Flex.
forearm.
Flex Lewis has good forearm.
Oh, yeah, Flex Lewis, that's right.
Yeah.
It's almost like for this question, I almost want it to be like out of proportion, so it really jumps at you, right?
Oh, Frank McGrath.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at, because Phil's biceps and triceps were so big, same with Lee, that it's almost in proportion. So even though it might measure bigger, probably because Frank wasn't overall, as big as these guys. But
I know.
Frank's
Popeye, he wins.
Yeah, I feel like Frank's first of all, he had the vascularity and then all the fucking crazy squiggly lines and shit, and it was almost unproportionate from his body. So I might have to say Frank, the one that looks the freakiest, right? Could we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Rolly?
Rolly. I think Rolly, Lee, and Phil would be the debate for the best overall arms, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, I won that. I won that already. I'm sticking to MD had an article, best arms in the history of the sport, double page. It was like 3 pages, but the main page, Lee Priest in the history. I'm still sticking by it. I think they asked Mr. Olympias. I was first, Phil was second, Arnold was third. So, which I think Arnold being third. Arnold had great biceps, but this was like judging overall bicep, tricep, forearm, the whole package. And Arnold never had really good forearms, I don't think. It's like,
no, he didn't really have really good
tricep.
Yeah, he didn't have really good tricep neither. Let me see if I can pull up.
Thanks, Bleckman.
I mean, yeah, Lee obviously is.
Even though the article's like maybe 10 years old, I'm still sticking to it. Okay, no one's come along since.
I mean, look, this is all crazy. You don't see a lot of crazy forearms. That's you'll see better arms than you do see forearms. Oh wait, Lee and Rolly.
Yeah, that's when Rolly did the Aussie Pro show, and I'd been retired for a few years there.
Why is his arm still that big when he's retired?
I keep training. That's the thing. I don't even go heavy anymore. I think, like I tell people, if you got the muscle and you keep training it, you're not going to lose it.
This video was crazy. I like watching this video.
Oh, no, that's before 28, yeah. See, that one there doing the tricep push down, that was like 2 years ago in Vegas at the Olympia in the hotel room.
Oh, so you still have the arms?
Yeah, that's Lee at 50.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'll be 52 this year.
You see, because you started so young that you're still in your early 50s, right? Because shit, yeah. Dennis James is 60, and he started way after you.
Mm-hmm.
So but Lee's arms, this is world class. The world class,
as good as it gets.
Mm-hmm. All right. So forearms, we get.
Artie Zeller took that picture there. He tried to recreate it, but I was just leaning on the one like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And that became the cover of Muscle and Fitness.
I tried to
Artie Zeller, that black and white with my arms are up. That was like on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. I was just leaning on the bar, and he took the photo, and then we tried to recreate it. But it's just one of those, because Artie was the one that took nearly all those pictures of Arnold at black and white in the gym, where Arnold's just leaning on stuff and that. And some of the shots that you never intend to pose for end up being some of your best shots that,
When I was like 18, I kept trying to take pages like this for Instagram. I would go like this, and then I would try to take a picture for it. It didn't look the same. It didn't look the same. I would turn down the saturation, try to get it black and white, and it didn't look like this though. All right.
Hey Lee, that World Gym you said that you used to train at, was that the one in San Diego?
No, that was the one just on Abbott Kinney and Main Street in Venice.
Oh,
just like a block or two down from Gold, yeah. Used to be great. You get there early in the morning, and you'd have the salt air from the beach coming over out in the balcony. And it was funny. Arnold would get there about 7, and Arnold had this like Joe Gold made in this parking space. It was like all this beautiful red marble, Arnold Schwarzenegger in gold lettering. It almost looked like a tomb, a crypt. So some mornings we'd put flowers on it just to piss him off. He'd get to the gym and go, "Oh, very fun." I was like, "Oh, we thought you passed away. We heard on TMZ you passed away." The funny thing was, though, if anyone parked there, this is what I used to love. If anyone parked there, Arnold would park his Hummer right behind. Even I had a Hummer, but I wouldn't park on his spot. It's like he'd park his car right behind him. It could be a woman. "Oh, excuse me, I've got to go to work now." Arnold's like, "I'm not finished training. You parked in my spot." So he'd make him wait till he finished training.
All right. Let me see. Strongest bodybuilder overall, I guess, all time, right?
Probably
Let's
James,
say all.
bro.
Johnny was pretty strong. Johnny Jackson, wasn't he? He was pretty strong on certain lifts. But
It's hard. See, it's hard. It's hard to answer it because it depends, I guess, what are you looking at? Because if you look at like compound movements, like bench, squat, deadlift, I think it might be James. But Ronnie was strong on everything, even like pull downs, fucking curls. Levrone too. Levrone could, bench 5 plates, but he was doing 100-pound curls and he was doing the stack plus a plate on pull downs.
But then do we get technical and go, well, this guy's a 212 guy and he's squatting 6'7". Is that stronger than somebody who's 60 pounds heavier squatting the same? So do we get all technical like the powerlifting does and go from body weight compared to what you're lifting? Or
well, then, and also form, because James' form is a lot cleaner. And also, I guess Ronnie had a squat suit on for the 800, whereas James does it without a squat suit.
Yeah.
Don't forget Akeem.
Yeah, very strong as hell.
People forget because he doesn't do that, I guess, anymore. But he used to. I mean, I've seen him do some crazy shit.
It just effortlessly too, like the way that he squats. It's like just like 8, 7, 8 plays, just like nothing. It's absurd.
Would Nick be in the conversation because of the control that he has with some of the weights he does?
You could because I've seen Nick do stuff that I've never seen anybody. I don't think I've ever seen a bodybuilder do 200-pound shoulder press. Right? I don't think I've seen 200-pound dumbbell shoulder press. I don't think I've seen that besides Nick. So
I did back in the day, but we didn't have phone cameras.
Yeah.
Take too long to draw it. Quick, hurry up.
I was gonna actually because most of your training videos we've seen has been like a few weeks out from a show, so I would assume that that's not the way you usually train if you were full blown 280.
My best lifts back in the day was 7 plates on squats for 6 reps, and I'd use 200-pound dumbbells for chest and that, but generally I'd stay around the 150. There's days where you're feeling really strong. I'd go all out, but I'd never believed in 1 rep maxes or stuff. My lowest I'd go would be 5, but generally I like 6 to 8 on heavy weights. I never did deadlifts. I do partial deadlifts. I got up to 9 plates partial in a rack, but I never I'd always stick like if like 7 was my max squatting, I might just stay around like 5 plates. When I trained with Tom for a year, we might just stay at 5 plates, but we're doing like sets of 20 reps and then we'll go do something else because you've seen Tom's videos, like that's what he's like. Tom's just totally fucking psycho and maniac in the gym. Once he locks in on something, even if he's training himself or he's training you're not walking out there, he's going to kill you. I mean, like even doing shoulders with Tom the first time, he'd go first doing his laterals. You do like laterals and you get here, you might do a few more. It's like, fuck, waiting for Tom to finish his set. I could have gone and had a hamburger because Tom will keep going, and then like he'll be down.
Oh, you do the partials, yeah, keep going.
On anything, calves would be like this, and then he'd be here. Then,
moving?
It's like we talk about the. So I was like, Jesus, Tom, is that my set? Yeah, come on. It's like, but I'd always say, Tom, you should make a comeback, and he's like, oh no, Levi, turn it back on. Because like I said, I watch his videos now where he's talking to people. I start getting all hyped up, just the passion and the thing he has when he's talking. And when you're training with him, that's what it's like. You could be feeling shit, but when he starts yelling at you and talking to you, like, oh yeah, I got to do it. So it was good motivation, Tom.
you did higher volume, right? But
Yeah.
were all those sets? Because I think you when I used to do like what, like 20 to 30 sets per body part, something like that, or no?
Yeah, pretty much. Biceps would be the lowest I'd go. Would be 20 on buys and 20 on tries. Legs could be anywhere from 40 sets or more. Just I always did high volumes. Yeah, mainly too because back then all I did, majority we didn't have internet, so I just trained and I figured, well, I got nothing else to do. I'll just do more. So my training sessions might have gone for 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
My question is, did you believe in taking every set to failure, or some of the sets? Or
when you say failure, I mean like I'd have a struggle. I've had a training partner, like they might spot me if I just got stuck. I wasn't failure where some people go, then they just drop it. So I'd always still had control. So I wouldn't say it was to the point of failure where everything just, if I was squatting, that I just come crashing down. I had enough in me where it's failure enough, but I could still just get the last rep out.
Okay. So if you're doing dumbbell curls and you're doing 5 sets, is that including warm up and feeder sets? Or
I never counted warm ups. No, even though I got like a little pump from it, I still never counted them. So like barbell curl, I'd probably do 5 to 7 sets of barbell, but I might have done 3 sets just sort of warming it up beforehand and getting a nice little pump, but I don't count them. Then I had like the 5 to 7 working sets.
Oh, okay. So, you still did at least 5 working sets though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because that's what I'm getting at, because like if you watch like, Jay or even Ronnie train, they might say 3-4 sets, but they're doing the first 2 are kind of feeder, and then the last 2 are like all the way failure.
My feeder warm-up ones, whatever they call them these days, I just never counted them because even though I said you'd get a good little pump on it, I still never, if I wasn't really struggling with it, I didn't really count it as a set.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's easier to track it that way, because if you kind of say do 5 sets, but you don't really have a distinction between warm-up and working sets, it's hard to track your volume, right? Because you don't know how much of it is working volume. But the question was strongest by. All right, so let's give our top 3, because I don't think you can just say one because that's a bit complicated. Let's start with Zay. Who's your top 3 strongest bodybuilders?
Definitely Akeem. Strongest. Damn, that's a tough one. Ronnie for sure, and Dorian.
Dorian.
Yeah.
Okay, Zay. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Why,
let's go.
You don't think Dorian is strong?
Not as strong as a lot of other guys, but that's just my opinion.
No, I know, but for his era, don't you think he was really, really strong?
For his era, we're not doing
for his era.
We just doing total.
Zayd's got the strangest takes on things, man.
It's always different, right?
There's at least one curveball with this guy.
He always catches me off guard. I'm like, I didn't expect that.
you know probably what it is with Dorian. We probably don't think Dorian's strong because we never really seen Dorian squat like Ronnie. I don't remember any videos or photos of Dorian ever really squatting heavy. You saw him on the leg press, so I guess sometimes when you don't see people do the basic, the powerlifting type movements, the squats and deadlifts, I don't even think I really saw Dorian deadlifting. I saw Dorian doing heavy barbell rows of 5 or 6 plates, but I don't think I ever saw Dorian deadlift. So it seems like if you don't see him do deadlift or squat or something, they're sort of taken out of the strongest bodybuilder equation almost.
He's perfect. I think his training, he's obviously on the stronger side, right? He's not, but like his form was perfect, execution. I think his training was perfect, but strong. I don't think I would have him in the strongest. But that's just,
who's actually pretty strong is Ian.
Ian was very strong. Very strong.
He's pretty damn strong. Him and even Chris Bumstead, pound for pound, Chris is keeping up with Ian's lifts. That's pretty impressive.
Mike O'Hearn's pretty strong. He's still strong.
Yeah, Mike O'Hearn. Yeah, man.
Very strong. Obviously,
what about John Mackey?
Oh, Joe Mackey. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
But he is overall
he's like
strong.
Deadlift strong, right?
Yeah,
he's like deadlift strong, no?
Yeah. I've never really seen him anything else.
his deadlift is definitely the strongest of any bodybuilder ever.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. No bodybuilder has deadlifted over 900 pounds. That just hasn't happened before, you know. But he's not as strong everywhere else. But I've seen him do 200-pound dumbbells for some reps. I've seen him do. I've never seen him squat, I guess.
You guys know Stan Efferding?
Yeah. But if we're being
Mhm.
fair, he's a power lifter who got a pro card. You know, but he is a pro bodybuilder.
I say technically the pro bodybuilder, right?
He is.
Mhm.
That was a debate with him and Johnny. It was like, yes, you are stronger than Johnny, but we kind of consider Johnny more of a bodybuilder, and we consider you a powerlifter. Like in the powerlifting world, Stan Efferding is a powerlifter. They don't be like, oh, that's the bodybuilder guy. You know, it's like Larry. If Larry turns pro, are we going to call him the strongest bodybuilder, or are we going to say he's a powerlifter who turned pro? You know, I don't think we're going to be like, oh, Larry, the strongest bodybuilder. I think we're going to be like,
wasn't Johnny powerlifting before bodybuilding too?
He did both at the same time.
What about Franco Colombo?
That's right. How about that?
He was strong as fuck. Yeah. Oh, there's somebody that most people probably don't know. Shit, I don't even remember his name. It's fucked up. But that guy,
we definitely don't know his name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, him, yeah, he's really strong. Oh, he's really
strong. Does he have a nose?
That the Jersey guy that was with Redcon for a while. I'm super sorry. He's actually a friend of mine. I'm having a brain fart. You guys know what I'm talking about? The white guy with the red hair.
I don't know. He's watching now. He's like, good fucking friend. You don't remember my name.
Dallas McCarver was strong too, right? Dallas McCarver
was strong as fuck. He's strong as fuck.
Branch is strong too. Branch on some of his lifts too. Branch doesn't have the best form, but he's strong. So it's like it's really hard. We're just creating enemies here. They'll be like, "Oh, fuck this podcast." You don't.
Josh creating enemies was strong.
Oh, he was. He actually was. Yeah, he actually was strong. He did lunges with like 4 or 5. Remember? He was doing 4 or 5 lunges. But I got to remember this guy now because I think he hasn't competed in a few years.
Kyler Curvey?
Boom. Yes.
Okay.
Him. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So he broke his leg, and then he's been like I think he's been competing in powerlifting now. So that makes it kind of different. But James actually said he's stronger than him. James said that guy is stronger than me. So that says a lot coming from James.
I don't think they were pro bodybuilders, but back in the day, the Barbarian brothers, they were pretty strong.
They were strong as fuck. Yeah. I guess I don't want to include guys who actually train like powerlifters because that's a different advantage. If Ronnie Coleman was like, let me jump on a powerlifting program, then he would be a lot stronger, right? So somebody like Stan Efferding or Larry Wills or Kyle Curvey, I think now he's doing powerlifting cycles as far as so that I want you to train like a bodybuilder and just be strong as fuck. Because if not, then
I'm just gonna go run, take a pee. This is what happens when you get old. Your prostate.
Yeah. I think we got to include bodybuilders that don't actually do powerlifting, because that's a
bodybuilders that got strong through bodybuilding.
Exactly. Because any one of us can do
that aren't doing the 3 rep ranges.
Yeah.
They aren't trained to be strong; they just get strong.
Exactly. So, because any one of us could hop on a powerlifting program and fucking almost double our lifts just because we're literally just training to be powerlifters. So, I guess let's go, Paul. The top 3.
Fuck, I don't know. As far as say Ronnie, Johnny. And I'm gonna say Mackie. I'm gonna say Joe Mackie just from his deadlifts, bro. You know what I mean? All lower strength, all around strength.
Ronnie, Johnny, Jack, Mackie.
Yeah,
that's a good 3 to me. I didn't mean to judge you, Zayd. I wasn't judging you, but you called me.
No, that's okay. It's just opinion,
Yeah. You called me off guard, don't you?
Yeah. I guess you're right, though. Intensity does not equal a strength. He was intense, but maybe not super strong. But the way he was so intense, maybe that alluded to looking very strong.
Bamboozled you. He bamboozled you with that yelling. His training partner yelling in his face.
I tell you who was strong when I used to watch him train at Gold's. He used to train with Billy Smith from the Gladiators. Was Jim Quinn. Jim was very strong.
Yeah.
And so was because I'm going back to my younger days now. I used to have his video was super strong. Was Bird or Fox back in the day? He was really strong.
Yeah, he's strong enough to choke a bitch out.
Now,
sorry, that I was too far. I'm dieting, man.
Well, it's like, okay,
been on prep for a week,
baby. You can't use that excuse yet.
I can't.
16 weeks out, bro.
I wonder if you diet for a contest. If you did kill someone, could you get away with it? Because I was watching this court case once, and there was like 3 different women who are on their period, and because they're on their period, they hormonal, they killed their boyfriends and husbands, and they got off on it on some sort of mental something in their mind because on their period and the hormones messed them up. So can we try that? When it's like,
yeah,
I wish.
You gotta see what it is. You gotta plan it out years ahead. Start going to see psychologists. We can't
plan it because then it's premeditated. We can't say that now.
I
know.
You got
the bitch stole my chicken breast.
Yeah.
You know what it's like when you're eating every bit of rice off your plate.
Yeah. You got to go to a psychologist for a few months, get some prescriptions. Don't take it. Just have that history of mental health issues, and then do it, and then you'll be okay.
That's why I act so crazy. So if I ever do anything, they just look at my past podcasts and what I say online. They go, "Well, he's got to be fucking nuts, doesn't he? Look what he says." It's like,
bro, today I come home from my fasted cardio and I'm making my cream of rice, and I have a special little spoon. And I couldn't fucking find it. I damn near lost it. Oh, where the fuck is my spoon? Everybody knows my fucking spoon.
It counts. Everybody counts. Let's go, Stu.
I do Ronnie, Akeem, and Dallas.
Yeah. I like that one. That's a good one. Did Joe go?
I mean, I said a few, but I'm sticking with James, Dallas, and I'm going to put Nick in there.
Cool. That's good. All white guys, Joe?
We can't say Nick anymore because Nick's all preachy, like lift light weights now, feel the muscle.
Please.
Lost that card.
All right, take Nick out of there. You're right. I'll throw Ian in there. Did I say Ian? Yeah, Ian.
I want to see Nick next year get those neck rolls in his neck again and start lifting 200-pound dumbbells.
Yeah,
vintage, Nick. Vintage.
Good old days. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny when you see them on yourself because you never see yourself from the back, and someone takes a photo. You're like, "What the fuck's that?"
That happened to me with Paul. Remember, I was like, "Paul, why the fuck you didn't tell me my head got so fucking?"
Grow your hair out; they can't see it.
We look like those cool kids with their collars up. It's like,
there's no worse feeling when I watch like a workout that I posted, and I'm looking at myself doing like lateral raises from the back, and I have all these fucking rolls down my. It's horrible, bro. It's just disgusting.
Even sometimes now when I get fat, you get that chin under here a bit, and I look, and sometimes I'm like, "Oh, hold on, I got to hold my head up a bit."
Oh, man. He got the tattoos kind of contoured, right?
Yeah. Look at that. They color them in darker so they hide it.
My beard gets longer in the off season. I grow it out a little more. And I tell them, shape it like I have a chin. Shape it.
Yeah. It helps. Did Lee go for his top 3?
I would have gone Ronnie, Akeem, and probably Johnny, just because Johnny was a lighter body weight and was lifting probably some of the same weights as Ronnie on certain things. So it's hard to say, because it's like, I keep bringing in the body because there was that what's his name was really strong. He used to do powerlifting movements, but you wouldn't think of it. Was Derek Farnsworth. He was really strong.
He's very strong,
dude. He is crazy strong.
And for his body weight, I think he'd probably be one of the strongest when you look at his body weight compared to what he's lifting. So,
I fucking trained with him like 4, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I don't know how old he is. He had to have been in his 40s by that time.
Early 50s now.
Yeah.
You see?
It's like 52 or 53. He's still strong as shit. He
Mhm.
kicked my ass on legs last year when I trained with him.
Yeah. We did shoulder press on the Smith machine, and he still hit 3 plates at. I mean, how much does he weigh? He's like 5'2", right? Like how much
Yeah.
he don't weigh?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
He couldn't.
buck
He'd have to be
70.
under. He'd have to easily, around the 180, 170 mark, I think, maybe.
Yeah, he's insane. Did a video of him doing like what 30 reps with 4 or 5 on squats, something insane like that. Yeah, I think it's mental though. He's mentally insane, so it makes him stronger. You know,
Chris Cormier was really strong too. I forgot about it.
I've seen him do 200s. I've seen him 200-pound dumbbells, 5 plate. I think incline with 5 plate incline. You know, he just didn't always train that way, but he was strong.
And I used to Chris would be strong on. That's what I mean. Like I remember seeing Chris go heavy on the incline presses and leg press, but again, I never saw Chris squat. So to me, sometimes when you don't see someone squat heavy, you sort of take him out of that strongest. Unless you see him do a squat movement, unless you see the bar bending, it's like, it's like leg press. Come on, that's a bit easier,
For sure. From an overall standpoint, I gotta go Ronnie. I gotta go James, and then I gotta go Dallas. I've seen Dallas do some incredible shit. I've seen him do some incredible shit. I've seen him do. He did 1 plate squats, 1 plate for 10, 2 plates for 10, 3 for 10, 4 for 10, all the way till 7. Then stays at 7, then goes back down all the way down. I'm like, what the fuck? How can you even catch your breath after that?
Your lungs and your lower back would be on fire.
Insane. Yeah, he had a heart. He was laid back, so he wasn't the type to yell and scream and throw around weights. He was kind of had a good sense of humor, but he had that in him. He definitely had that in him if he had to turn it on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Most competitive bodybuilding rivalry ever.
Ronnie and Jay, no?
That would have been one.
Phil and Ty.
Yeah,
No.
competitive means how close it was. Do you guys think it was that close between Ty and Phil?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was that close.
I didn't.
Maybe like the last like 2 or 3, but not in the beginning.
Is this an unpopular opinion? I didn't think it was close, man. I thought
was it Kevin and Dorian? Didn't Kevin get third to Dorian 3 times, was it? Or how many times did he get second at Dylan?
Oh, I think you're right. I think that was
a few times. Yeah.
Chris Cormier at the Arnold Classic, he got like second, 5 or 6 times. So it was like,
yeah.
No, the greatest rivalry was Lee and Ronnie.
Yeah. Well, so 2001, Jay was leading in prejudging, so that's really close. I think Ronnie was actually scared every single year. Was Phil scared of Kai? I don't know. I don't know if Phil was scared of Kai.
I think so because it pushed him.
It definitely pushed him.
I mean, I think that comes with like, fuck, this guy's chasing me, and if I don't push harder, he's gonna get me.
Yeah.
I know a rivalry from back in the day, Gaspari and Haney.
That's a good one.
Runner-up.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. We gotta have more than that. Who else? We don't have much.
What's his name? Fuck. Oh yeah, Lee Haney and
Dorian and Nasser.
You think Lee saw Dorian like, fuck this, somebody's gonna retire so I don't lose.
Yeah, then we had Labrada and Haney, didn't we too?
Mm-hmm.
He got second a couple of times, didn't he?
The only thing with Lee and Dorian is that Lee was only 31, so Lee he would have hit his prime before Dorian.
Mm-hmm.
So would he really be scared if he knows that he wasn't even pushing it and he wasn't even in his prime yet?
I guess that's true.
Because genetically, as long as if Lee was able to match Dorian's size, then he would beat him off of condition. He has to match condition as well. If he could match his size and condition, I'm positive he could have matched his size if he pushed it. But I don't know if he could have matched his conditioning, if I'm being honest. I don't know if Lee could have gotten in that kind of condition.
I loved that Olympia, was it the year before when they did that drug test at Olympia and everyone looked a bit, but then the following year in Florida when they went back on the gear and that stage turned around and Lee Haney was just standing there, you're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? We're also thinking about winners. You don't have to win the Olympia to be a rivalry. You could have a rivalry outside of that as well. What's his name? Craig Titus and
King Kamali.
Yeah. That's a rivalry. That's a rivalry.
That's a real one.
yeah. They, who else? Who hates each other?
Lee Priest and Sean Ray had a rivalry.
Wait, who did?
Lee and Sean.
Oh.
Hey, you'd always start talking shit, so I just join in and carry it on. So.
Lee, would you be open to doing a podcast with Sean? Or
when I see Sean in person, we get on fine. It's just online that he'll talk his shit, but in person he'd always come up behind me. I was at the we're at the Arnold, that's right, and I saw him coming and someone was talking to me, filming me. I said, I don't mind coming here, but sometimes you always just run into those cunts you can't fucking stand. There's always some cunt around. Oh, hi, Sean. Speaking.
One thing I will give Sean credit on is he can take it as well as he receives it.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to give that because he gives it. So, but when people do the same to him,
Sean and I have always been in fun. I've never really had a rivalry where I've totally disliked someone. I've just,
Yeah.
You know who I think slowly developing a rivalry, watching it happen is Derek and Nick.
I can see that.
That's the future of it. I totally see that's going to happen.
Nick I don't know Derek personally, but Nick to me looks like what Derek probably wants to say, but doesn't say. Because Nick doesn't give a fuck, but it seems like Derek seems very present and trying to be a specific way. Like I said, I don't know him personally, so I don't know if that's how he is behind closed doors, but he seemed like he's trying purposely to be very professional.
Derek's pretty close to God, so he can't say too much bad.
Bro, I don't know anybody who's like super competitive that doesn't have like some sort of like, no, fuck you,
Well, you have to.
You have to be competitive. It's not you can't not have that.
Do you guys think you can actually be mentally crazy enough to be Mr. Olympia without having a dark side? Do you think you could really be like, oh, I don't care, it's all Jesus,
Can you be a bodybuilder? Can you be a bodybuilder and put yourself through the shit we put ourselves through without having a dark side or some sort of demented masochist side? It's like
exactly, Like I said, I don't know him personally, but I feel like there has to be another side to Derek that we're not privy to. I don't believe you can be that politically correct and that nice and be the best in the world.
It's like Gunter. Gunter was always nice and smiling, but then backstage sometimes I'm like, oh, if people could see you now. I always figure, did you always find too, it's like, for someone to get sympathy from me, it's like even the wife would be like, oh, I've been at work and my back hurts. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, being a bodybuilder, the amount of pain we put ourselves through, if someone complains about pain, I'm like, unless you're missing a limb or something's hanging off, I don't give a shit. So for someone to get sympathy from me when they complain about pain, I'm just like, suck it up.
Yeah. Hey, women hate that though. Women hate that when they're like, hey, tell you about their problem. Then you're like, okay, so fix it. Stop doing that shit. And they're like, I just want to be heard. I'm like, I'm hearing you and I'm giving you advice.
My wife got mad at me the other day again because it's that time of the month. Oh, I hate being a woman. It's like, you say it every fucking month. It's like, well, she got all mad at me. I'm like, every month you say the same shit. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like,
yeah. But nowadays that I'm getting older, I'm like, part of me is like, maybe I should try to be a little more understanding, but it's hard.
They just want you to listen. That's all. Just listen.
That's it. What do you guys do? Do you guys? I guess you would just be like, "Oh, I hear you," and then giving them a hug. Like, what does that solve? That doesn't solve anything.
They don't want to solve their problems. If they solved their problems, they wouldn't have anything to complain about. Then what are they going to talk about all day, man?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got into trouble with someone. I was on a podcast once. I said, "Oh my God!" I said, "If I hear one more woman complain about childbirth, childbirth, it's the worst pain ever." I'm like, "You got fucking 5 kids, bitch. It wasn't that bad if you fucking popped more out." I said, "If I do something so painful, I'm not going to do it again." I said, "All you bitches are lying." I said, "The most painful thing is anal sex because I tried that once. If you don't do it right, you never get them back in again. So you'll pop out 6 kids. They only let me try anal sex once. So anal sex is obviously a lot worse than having fucking kids. Even if you have the love of your life, you're the love of my life, Lee. You're my soulmate. Can we have anal sex? No, why not? It hurts. I never tried. I did it with my ex. Oh, so he gets to have a go, but the love of your life doesn't get to have a fucking
Good point.
I'll be gentle. I'll be gentle. Just a tip. Just a tip. I'll be gentle. So I come to the conclusion anal sex was worse than childbirth because, like I said, you try it once and it hurts. They won't ever do it again. But kids, I'll keep spitting them out.
That's true.
It is a very male perspective. Yeah.
I get.
Hear him now. What would he know about childbirth? What would he fucking know?
You know what? I guess it's gonna be specific to the woman, right? But I had a client who would work out till like 2 weeks out from giving birth, sometimes even closer.
I've seen a few like that.
Yeah, and I would get nervous not because she can't work out. My nerves is that what if somebody bumps into her or she trips or slips or something like that.
I used to see women doing that, and I used to be surprised when you see a woman doing that. But they'd still be in shape apart from their stomach.
Yeah,
but then, like, if they put it online and say, "Look, this is me." Oh, you got cats too. I got 7 cats. Yes, but I'd be like, the hate they get from other women. You shouldn't be training while pregnant. That's child abuse. That's this. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you're coming down on this woman just for exercising while she's pregnant. It's like I said, they only have this here because it's like I said too. It just got me in trouble again when I was talking about postpartum depression with women. I'm thinking, we never heard of that. My mother was like, we had kids. I said, you know what it is, ladies, because you love the attention. I said, this is how it starts out. You meet your guy at the gym. You're both in shape. You look good. You meet each other. You're having sex all the time. It's fantastic. Suddenly you get pregnant. What happens? Oh, you look beautiful. You're glowing. You're radiant. Oh, she's getting more attention. Great. Then comes the baby shower, presents, more gifts. Oh, that's great. Finally, she gets to the hospital, has the kid. Everyone comes to see the kid. Oh, that's beautiful. Ah. Now, let's go ahead 2 weeks. You're at home. You got this crying cunt of a kid. You can't go anywhere because the kid makes a fucking noise. You're 60 pounds over fucking weight now. Your boyfriend or husband doesn't want to fuck you because you're a fat pig. You can't go out to the movies. You can't go anywhere. So you're stuck at home. I said, no wonder you're fucking depressed because you're a fat pig sitting on the couch eating food all day. And then they say, oh, I don't get a moment to sit down. I'm chasing the kid all day. Then why are you still 60 pounds overweight if you're chasing the kid all fucking day? That's cardio. I said,
that's
so
how I feel.
Depression is just because you're a fat, ugly bitch now. That's the problem. But you should have saw the hate I got from that.
That's exactly how I feel about when people say they get post-show blues.
Oh, yeah?
Just want attention. Yeah. Oh, I don't have attention anymore. Oh, fuck, I'm fucking bloated now. I'm fucking fat. Like, nobody's looking at me.
I love post-show stuff. That was the best time.
Dude, I tell everybody that shit. I'm like, you're tripping.
Well, you would the first week after or 2 weeks after a show, you try and hold on to it. I've still got some veins. I've still got some definition. But once it starts going, you're like, oh, fuck it, it's gone.
Exactly what happens. I'll cry about it.
But I always say to women, I say, how much did your baby weigh? Oh, 5 pounds. And how much did you put on? 70. So what was the other 65? That's like, it's like me in the off
season. We just lost the 5 female viewers we had.
You think we have 5,
they hate, women, they hate the truth. They just can't stand it.
No, but
like men talking about women's problems is like when I'd be in America and I talk about gun control. Hey, shut the fuck up. You're an Aussie. You don't know nothing about American gun control. It's like they hate it when somebody else from another country talks about something.
They want to hear that. No, but this this client, she had, I think, 7 kids or so. And I'll be like, oh, do you feel bad? Do you feel shitty at all? She's like, she did the first couple of times when she wasn't working out, actually. Now that she's working out, she says she feels great. And I'm like, okay, but why you keep having these kids? Is it, do you enjoy it? She's like, it's the best feeling ever. She said she loved labor. She loved giving birth, the whole 9. And I'm like, this lady was built to be a mom because she loved every part of it.
Really? Does she know she could do OnlyFans and just do fisting and make money? They'd be the same feeling.
But she said this is just her experience. She said she never had a bad experience. She just enjoyed it. She actually admits she enjoys the attention. She said, I love the attention. Everybody's nice to me. You know, but I thought she was.
A bad experience is going to come a bit later with 7 kids. Imagine having 7 kids.
Yeah, 1 out of 7, at least one is going to be some kind of fuck up or criminal, or like statistically, it's probably going to happen.
For sure, yeah. But this
lady,
lady,
she might have a serial killer in there out of 7. She
might. No, but this lady, she's one of the clients that I love to train. She just, these are the clients you want. Like, she was just no bullshit. She didn't complain. She knows that she's doing this to herself and she loves it. And the truth is, if you don't love it, maybe you shouldn't do it. Everybody doesn't have to do that. You could choose to not do it.
What about the ones that have twins or triplets or popping 4 out? You'd be sitting there going, shit, there's another one. And that got me in trouble too, because I was talking about twins. I was watching a program once. You know how twins are like, that's so good having an identical twin. They look exactly the same. We finish each other's sentences. You know how they carry on. They'll be talking, and the next one would just be like, it's almost like they're programmed the same. But then they had ones where they had lost their twin, and they're like, I lost my brother, I lost a big part of me, or I lost my sister, and I just can't get over it. I'm like, you conceited asshole. My sister and I, we're 2 years apart. If she dies, I never see her again. I said, you've lost your brother, identical twin. Look in the mirror, you cunt. He's still there. Look at the reflection of the window. He's never really gone. If he's your identical twin, just look in the fucking mirror. Come on now. Have you really lost him?
We're not getting monetized this video.
That happens a lot when I come on. Actually, it might be a surprise. Sometimes I've been on RX and I say some of the worst shit and it gets monetized, and sometimes I actually be good and it gets demonetized. I'm like, the algorithms on YouTube, I think, are just so weird on what they pick up on or don't pick up on. I'm like,
yeah, it's the wildest shit. Okay,
just don't put Lee Priest in the title, you'll be safe.
Surprise guest.
I might put 90s legend and have you like blacked out with a question mark and see what
it's like Instagram and YouTube. I post something and I keep getting that warning. Do you want to post this or edit your comment? I'm like, of course I want to post it. I fucking wrote it. What? Like,
that should annoy it.
Trigger words in it. Trigger words that set it off.
If you say anything, if you say dumb, if you use it, anything small.
I called a guy a clown. I called a guy a clown, and I got a warning for hate speech.
Damn.
Whoa.
All right.
You see what these people call me? I'm just replying to their stupid comment.
They don't care about that. We've been on a little over 2 hours. You guys want to call it or one more?
One more question.
We can do one more.
Dude, like, fuck you all. I'm dieting. He's dieting. I'm like, screw you all.
You good, Stu? You hanging in there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. Barely.
All right. Let me see.
Stu's like, what podcast am I in? Who are you people?
Hey, someone thought it was funny how you were like, Joe, what's your top 6? And I was like, wait, who the fuck's doing the show?
Yeah. That was funny. It was 6 guys in the whole show. All right. Okay.
But that way you can always tell people if you're in the show, I made a top 6. And if no one saw the show, how many was in it? 20. top 6.
Yeah.
Biggest show of the year.
Yeah, that was an incredible lineup.
If Martin did Brazil, would he have beaten Rafa? I mean that version of Rafa in particular. If we're talking about that,
Yeah,
I can see it.
well, yeah, I can see he should have, but like I said, being in Brazil and Brazilian crowd and the Brazilian whole thing, that might have been Rafa's going to win, no matter who was there.
Now
the question should be, would he have beat Antonio? Because Antonio beat Rafa. I mean, should have beat him.
Yeah.
That might be a better question. Okay. First of all, would Martin have beating like Rafa at the Arnold US? So Rafa actually peaked properly. He still wasn't peeled, but he was a lot better. So do you guys think Martin? Okay, so we all agree that he would beat Rafa off like he was at the Brazil.
Yeah.
But what about Rafa on the US? Would Martin beat that?
It's hard to say. Some bodybuilders, you got to, like, you can say yes or no, but then I'm always like, until I see them side by side, sometimes I can't get the picture in my head. Sometimes
That's exactly what I'm trying to think.
Rafa has a big structure too, so if he's in shape, I don't know. I think it's a better comparison against Tonio. Actually, does Martin beat Tonio?
I think so.
Find out in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They're both not missing any body parts, right? They're both completely complete. They're both peeled. I mean, one is white.
When it comes down to that, I always wonder. It must be just say, Tonio's in good shape and then Martin's in the best shape ever. It must have to come down to just the judge's preference and what they like, does it? Because, if we say apples and oranges, but if you got two guys who are similar and they're both oranges, it's like, what orange does the judge like best? So it's like,
that might be the best matchup in the league. I think it's a complete stalemate. I think Tonio on and Martin on, they're almost the same. They have no weaknesses. They're peeled. They're round. They're full. I mean, how do you even compare that? One is white. One is black. They're basically the same shit.
It's
right?
not irrelevant.
I think Tonio might edge him out just a little bit because Tonio has some really, really good lines in his back on the backside. That's the only thing I could think would edge him out.
You think Tonio being shorter too? He's not that much shorter, but I think just being that shorter, he has that more freaky, rounder look to him because he's more compact.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tonio loses the side poses just because he doesn't pose it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin really opens up and sits on his legs properly. So he might literally beat him just off of posing better, That's a good matchup. We're gonna see it, right? If he does New York.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's a good one. Oh, we talked about this. We talked about this with Xavier. We said Hunter's best was the Texas. Martin's best was Detroit. Who wins that? Hunter, Martin.
I still think Hunter.
I'm gonna go. It's hard to say. You got to put them next to each other. I mean, you can't. You know what I mean? That was a long time ago. So I can picture the body, but I mean, you can't put them next to each other.
See, on paper, I would say Martin comes in more peeled than Hunter usually, and has no weaknesses. Whereas Hunter, you could say he has like a muscle tear, maybe his lats, the way to insert. But all that being said, next to each other, Hunter is big as shit. First of all, he's taller than I thought he was. He looks like he's about 5'10". He's almost my height. So he's a tall, wide guy. That has to play for something. As long as he's in shape like he was at Texas. I don't know, man. I don't know. These are
it's hard to pick something. I know Hunter Hunter's like one of those guys you got to see almost in person on stage, almost like sometimes with Regan Grimes. You can see him in photos, but then he's totally different to when you see him near someone on stage. There's just certain people that's hard to picture them unless you see him beside somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did Hunter play the O? 6th or 7th?
6.
Yeah, 6.
Tonio was 8th.
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say well, that was a weaker lineup. It's going to be deeper this year. Would it be fair to say that Tonio is going to fall somewhere in between those guys like that? Like from, Martin. I said Tonio. Would it be fair to say Martin is going to fall somewhere between 7th to 10th?
Top 10.
He can do it.
I think he can get top 10. Yeah. Where Tonio's at.
I think so. Okay, we have a couple guys back. So we have Derek, Hadi, Nick, Sampson, Curry.
Is Rami competing? Is Rami going to do it?
We don't know. I think so. We don't know for sure.
The way it sounds like he is. Nothing's been confirmed.
Okay, if we're being honest, if we talk about Andrew right now, right? Should Andrew be able to crack the top 5 if he comes in that same condition that he was last year?
I don't think he will.
I don't think that's fair. I don't even think that's fair because these guys are coming in peeled. You know, he has a crazy physique and structure, but it has to count for something. You know.
Brendan Curry doing the Olympia this year as well?
I believe so.
If Brandon does it,
if Brendan's one, if he nails it right, he can be in that top 6 still. So
he beat Andrew. He was 4th and he was sick. So we just don't think about him that much because I guess he's older, maybe. But that's gonna be okay. Like I said, Hadi, Derek, Nick, Samson. Wait, what? What the fuck? Hadi, Derek, Nick, Samson, Brandon, Andrew, Hunter. That's 7 already.
Rizzo.
Jinx.
Rizzo. Then I guess Tony.
That Olympia, would that be one of the Olympias where you have the most Olympias on stage? Because you'd have Hardy's Olympia, Rami would be Olympia, Brandon Curry's won the Olympia, Derek's won the Olympia, so you'd have 4 Mr. Olympias on the same stage.
Hey, cracking that top 10, because I just named 9 guys, and I didn't even name Martin. So that top 10, like somebody said, there's 25 top 10 guys, because you could say Brett, you could say John De La Rosa, you could say Akeem. There's so many Regan. So there's 25 guys.
You could say Stu.
Yeah, you could say ZC.
I got your back, mate. I got your back.
Stu wouldn't say Stu.
Stu's gonna get there very soon.
He is. You guys think that's a good thing? I think it's a good thing that the top 10 is literally like the best of the best.
When it's competitive, because some shows you'd go to and it'd be like maybe just the top 3 or 4 competitive, and the rest are they're good, but when you got that much quality and that good competitor, I think it makes for a good show, because then, like you said, it's really going to come down to, because the guy that placed 10th could probably place 5th or 6th. You know, it's going to come down to whoever nails it that day and gets their conditioning spot on to where they're going to place. So you could say 10 guys. You can probably say the winner might be around, Hardy, Derek, that sort of area up there. But then the rest of them from 3rd to 10th could be anywhere, just depending on who nails it on the day.
Imagine guys as good as Martin, Crizzo, Hunter, Tonio, Regan fighting for the 10th spot. That tells you a lot about the lineup. That's a hell of a lineup. These are guys who can win any show they do. These are guys who have been as high as 4th place before. If we're talking about Hunter, but battling for 10th place, that's very prestigious. And listen, anybody can slip. If Samson is a bit off, Andrew is a bit off, Brandon is a bit off, you can slip all the way down to that 10th spot.
That's what I always say. Even when you see him like at the press conference or meet the Olympians and someone takes their shirt off, look at him, he looks great. Yeah, but you still got a day or two to go, and bodybuilding, a lot can happen in a day or two. So
everybody looks great at that level. That's why you're at that level, you know. I remember after the Arnold, one of my boys in the Bronx was like, "Yo, I seen Justin a couple days out. He looks so good, man. I think he could be very competitive in this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you seen Justin by himself though, but if you seen any one of those guys in the lineup, they look fucking crazy too. So everybody looks crazy. It's just
and they're always a week or two out. Some of the photos we see, I remember back in the day, some of those iconic pictures of Dennis James 2 weeks out from the Olympia. Like, fuck, Dennis is going to win the Olympia or be top 3. Then on the day to show you, like, what happened? It's like so many guys you see put up their pictures and you're thinking he's going to be in the top 2 at least, and then they don't end up making the top 10. You're like, what did you do?
crazy, yeah. But all right, guys, my clients are blowing up my phone. I got to get my meal in, go train some clients. Stu is fading a little bit. Eyes getting low. It's okay.
Still here, man.
Support you.
I want you to all know the world doesn't end, okay? Because it's Thursday here today, so the world hasn't ended, all right? You're on Wednesday. So you still got Thursday to come.
Oh, thank you.
You want Thursday's lotto numbers now, or what?
Yeah.
Let's Can I give you the lotto number?
If you have any wisdom to embark on us from Thursday, send us a message and we'll be happy to. But thanks for coming on, Lee. You know,
no, thank you.
Thank you.
The first legend.
Good
we
luck
had
to
on.
all of you that are Stu. Good luck, and everyone. Good luck dieting. I don't miss that much. I don't miss the dieting at all. But it's like I said, I always found. But do you find that they always used to tell people physically getting ready for shows was never the problem. I could do cardio and train for hours, but the dieting and the mental side, I said to people, the mental side's way worse than the physical side. The fucking mind games, you play with yourself and feel shit and you don't want to do this, or you start second guessing yourself. I said, the mind games are the worst more than anything, I tell people.
It is, yeah. But yeah, guys, I'm a pause the recording, but you guys stay on. So peace out, people. Thanks for watching this bullshit.
Peace out.